Hello there and welcome to this gentle journey. Tonight we'll drift through some of the most relaxing and awe-inspiring facts about our home planet Earth. This isn't a lecture, nor a hurried sprint through information. Instead, think of it as a slow walk through a quiet forest, where every step reveals a hidden wonder. If you enjoy these calm explorations, you might choose to stay with us for future journeys, perhaps even share one of your favorite discoveries in the comments. But for now, you don't need to do anything at all. Just let your shoulders loosen, let your breath settle into an easy rhythm, and allow your thoughts to soften as Earth reveals its quiet miracles. Let's begin with something as simple as air. Every breath you take, every gentle rise and fall of your chest, connects you to the living fabric of the planet. The air around us is not just empty space, it is a carefully balanced mixture of gases, perfected by billions of years of evolution. Roughly 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, with just a trace of carbon dioxide and argon. And within those traces lies the secret to life. That oxygen, so common to us, was not always here. Long ago, Earth's skies were suffused with methane and carbon dioxide. Then came cyanobacteria, tiny organisms that released oxygen as waste. Slowly, they transformed the entire planet into the breathable home we know today. Imagine that, with each inhale, you are connecting to a story that began billions of years ago, a reminder that survival itself is woven into the very air we share. Now picture the oceans. Covering more than 70% of Earth's surface, they are the planet's great heart, endlessly pulsing with waves and tides. Their rhythm is as steady as your own breathing, driven by the pull of the moon. Stand by the shore and you can feel it. The hush as water slides back, the rush as waves return. Scientists tell us that if you could listen deep enough, you would hear the sea singing constantly, low vibrations caused by waves colliding and echoing across the world's basins. This hum of the ocean, though far below our hearing, is always present. Imagine Earth itself singing softly, a lullaby carried in every tide. Beneath those waters lies another wonder, the coral reefs. They are not just places of dazzling color but living, breathing structures built by some of the tiniest creatures imaginable. Coral polyps, no larger than a grain of rice, secrete calcium carbonate to form vast reefs over thousands of years. They work quietly, slowly, yet together they create ecosystems that shelter a quarter of all marine life. From above, we see shimmering turquoise and emerald lagoons, but beneath the surface is a world of gentle cooperation, where fish dart among waving fronds of coral and anemones open like flowers in the tide. It's a reminder that the grandest creations often come not from speed or force, but from patience and quiet persistence. If the ocean feels too vast, let us turn to something even more grounding: soil. The earth beneath your feet is alive in ways we rarely consider. A single handful of healthy soil may contain more living organisms than there are people on the planet. Tiny bacteria, fungi, and insects all working silently together, recycling nutrients, creating fertility, and making life possible. Without them, forests could not grow, crops would not thrive, and we would have no food to eat. And yet, they do their work without fanfare, without recognition, always present, always nurturing. When you walk across grass or sit under a tree, you are being held by a vast invisible community. Doesn't it feel humbling to realize that even the quiet ground beneath us is alive with life? Then of course there are trees, great guardians of Earth, standing tall and timeless. Some have lived for thousands of years, their roots deep in the soil, their branches touching the clouds. They breathe in carbon dioxide, breathe out oxygen, and in doing so, create the very balance that sustains us. In Japan, people practice Shinrin-yoku or forest bathing, simply walking among trees and absorbing their calm. Studies show it lowers stress, slows the heart, and clears the mind. Yet you don't need studies to feel it. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing in a forest. Sunlight filters through the leaves, shadows dance gently on the ground, and a breeze whispers through the branches like a soft voice reminding you, you are safe here, you belong here, you are part of something vast and eternal. And what about rivers? Flowing from mountain peaks to ocean depths, they carve valleys, nourish fields, and carry stories across continents. The Ganges, the Nile, the Amazon, each one a thread in the great fabric of Earth. But even the smallest streams have their beauty. Scientists say the sound of running water naturally calms the brain, reducing stress and slowing thought. Perhaps it is because our ancestors always trusted the presence of water. Where there was a stream, there was safety, nourishment, and life. Imagine lying by a brook at night, listening as it chatters gently over stones, stars glimmering above. That sound is Earth itself whispering in its sleep, a lullaby that has been sung for millions of years. The sky above is another wonder. When you look up at night, you see stars scattered like diamonds. But during the day, the sky itself is a miracle. Its color comes from sunlight scattering through molecules of air, with blue being scattered more than red or green. That is why the heavens appear soft and endless. Yet at dawn and dusk, the scattering shifts and suddenly the sky turns gold, pink, or crimson, as if the world is pausing to paint for us before slipping into rest. To witness a sunset is to see physics transform into poetry, light turning into emotion. And the best part? It happens every single day, waiting for anyone who pauses long enough to notice. Our Earth is also home to rhythms we cannot see but can feel. The Schumann resonance, for instance, is a faint natural frequency that pulses in the atmosphere. About 7.83 Hz, the same range as brainwaves when we are relaxed or meditating. Some scientists call it Earth's heartbeat. Though we may not consciously hear it, our bodies respond. It is as though the planet and our minds are tuned to the same quiet song. Isn't it soothing to know that even in silence, Earth is singing with us? As we close this first part of our journey, let yourself rest in the thought that Earth is not just a planet, not just a rock in space. It is a living, breathing sanctuary filled with balance, resilience, and beauty. Air, water, soil, trees, rivers, skies, and rhythms, each one part of a larger symphony, each one inviting us to pause, to marvel, to let go. Tonight, perhaps as you drift towards sleep, you might imagine the planet itself cradling you, reminding you that you are part of its story, an ancient story still unfolding. As we move gently forward in our journey, let us sink deeper into the quiet marvels of our planet. Earth is not only a place of landscapes and skies, but also of hidden patterns, secret rhythms, and wonders too small or too vast for our eyes to catch. To explore them is not to rush, but to linger, like listening to a lullaby carried on the wind, each note unfolding slowly into the next. One of the most calming truths about Earth is the way seasons turn with steady patience. From the tilt of our planet's axis comes the cycle of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Every season has its own beauty. Blossoms unfurling in spring, warmth and long days of summer, golden leaves falling in autumn, and the soft hush of winter snow. This balance reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Not hardship, not joy, not even storms. Everything moves in cycles. Imagine lying beneath a tree in late summer, feeling the warmth on your skin, knowing that soon the air will cool, leaves will turn, and snow will fall. There is comfort in this predictability, in the knowledge that the Earth keeps time like a gentle clock, turning endlessly but never hurried. Beneath the surface, Earth holds another calming wonder, crystals and gems. For millions of years, deep pressure and heat slowly shaped minerals into stones of astonishing beauty. Quartz, amethyst, emerald, sapphire, each one formed in silence, hidden from human eyes until revealed. Their stillness carries a certain serenity. To hold a smooth stone in your hand is to touch something that took ages to form, something patient beyond measure. Scientists say crystals grow only millimeters each year, sometimes even slower. Imagine that, a jewel that outlives entire civilizations before it ever sees the light of day. These are Earth's slow gifts, born from pressure and time, quiet reminders that beauty is often the result of patience. And what of the deserts? At first glance, they seem harsh, empty, lifeless. But deserts are landscapes of quiet poetry. In the day, they shimmer with heat. At night, they open to skies so clear that stars seem close enough to touch. The Sahara, the Gobi, the Atacama, each vast and silent, carrying stories written in sand. In some deserts, you can walk for miles without hearing anything but the wind brushing across dunes. That silence has its own power. Scientists have measured some desert valleys as among the quietest places on Earth, where background sound drops so low that you can hear your heartbeat echo in your ears. Imagine standing in such a place, the world hushed, the sky infinite, and for a moment, there is nothing but you and the earth itself. Yet even in deserts, life persists. Certain cacti and succulents store water so cleverly that they can endure years without rain. Their spines shade them from heat, and their thick skins seal in moisture. Some open their flowers only at night, when the air is cooler, filling the darkness with fragrance for bats and moths. This quiet resilience is soothing to think about. Life that waits, that endures, that thrives not by force but by patience. Let us turn now to mountains. Towering above valleys, capped with snow, their presence inspires awe and peace at once. But beyond their beauty, mountains are also keepers of balance. They store vast quantities of fresh water in glaciers and snowpacks, slowly releasing it into rivers that sustain life far below. Without them, much of the world would go thirsty. Imagine a glacier, blue ice shining like glass, formed from countless snowflakes pressed together over centuries. Each flake delicate, fleeting, yet together they become a river of ice, carving valleys, shaping landscapes, nourishing plains. Mountains teach us that even the smallest, gentlest things can shape the strongest stone when given enough time. And what about the rain that falls from those heights? Each drop of rain carries with it a story. The water cycle is one of Earth's most elegant patterns, evaporating into the sky, forming clouds, condensing, and falling again. Every sip of water you drink has been on a journey across ages. The glass you hold today may contain molecules once flowing through an ancient river, once frozen in a glacier, once drifting in the clouds above forests where dinosaurs walked. There is something deeply soothing in knowing that water is eternal, endlessly cycling, endlessly renewing. If we look even deeper, beneath the oceans and continents, we find the Earth's magnetic field, an invisible shield generated by molten iron churning at the planet's core. It stretches outward into space, protecting us from harmful radiation of the sun. Without it, life as we know it could not exist. Yet we rarely notice it. Birds sense it, turtles navigate by it, and humans move beneath it without awareness. It is as if Earth is holding us in an unseen embrace, guiding migrations, shielding us from storms of space. Imagine it as a protective cocoon, always present, always guarding, though never demanding recognition. Another soothing truth: Earth is not perfectly still. It breathes and moves in ways too subtle for us to feel directly. The tectonic plates beneath us shift slowly, carrying continents across the surface like rafts on water. Mountains rise, oceans widen, islands emerge, all at a pace so slow that it feels timeless. Scientists call this process continental drift, but you might call it Earth's way of stretching, of adjusting, of slowly reshaping itself. Over millions of years, landmasses dance apart and come back together. What feels permanent, continents, oceans, mountains, is in fact fluid, gentle, and ever-changing. There is something soothing in realizing that even stone is not unmovable, that even mountains wander. And then there is light, sunlight itself, the most familiar and comforting gift of all. Every beam of sunlight takes 8 minutes to travel from the sun to Earth, racing across 150 million kilometers of empty space to touch your skin, warm your face, and illuminate the world around you. Think about that for a moment. The light falling softly through your window tonight left the sun before you even began this story. Sunlight is more than brightness, it is energy, warmth, life itself. Plants capture it, turning light into food. Animals eat the plants and the cycle continues. Every bite of food, every breath, every heartbeat is linked to that gentle warmth streaming across the void. To bask in sunlight is to rest in the very heartbeat of the solar system. As we drift toward the close of this part, let us pause to reflect on the stillness that Earth offers us. From the slow cycles of seasons to the silence of deserts, from the patient shaping of crystals to the endless rhythm of water, our planet whispers the same lesson over and over. Life is not a rush. It unfolds slowly, gracefully, persistently. If you let yourself, you can feel that rhythm inside you too. Not in haste, not in urgency, but in quiet harmony with the turning of the world. As our journey continues, let us drift further into the hidden gentleness of Earth, exploring wonders that often go unseen yet carry with them an immense sense of calm. Sometimes the most relaxing facts are not those that dazzle with brilliance, but those that whisper quietly, reminding us of the subtle harmony that binds life together. Let us begin with the soft glow of bioluminescence. In oceans across the world, tiny plankton light up when stirred by waves or movement, scattering blue-green sparks across the water's surface. Walk along a beach at night in places like the Maldives or Puerto Rico, and each step leaves behind a glowing footprint, as though the sea itself is breathing light. This light is not like fire or electricity, it is gentle, cold, and created by life itself. Fish, jellyfish, even fungi in forests can glow this way, illuminating the dark with calm, steady radiance. Imagine yourself drifting in a canoe at night, surrounded by glowing waters, every ripple shining like stars fallen into the sea. It is Earth's way of blurring the line between sky and ocean, of showing us that beauty does not need to shout. Sometimes it shines in silence. From glowing oceans to still lakes, water once again invites us into peace. Some lakes, such as Lake Baikal in Siberia, are so vast and deep that they hold more water than entire countries. Yet despite their size, their surfaces can lie utterly still, mirroring mountains and clouds above with perfect clarity. Lakes remind us of balance, neither rushing like rivers nor heaving like seas, but resting in serene quiet. Consider also the mirror lakes of New Zealand or the high-altitude waters of the Himalayas, reflecting snowy peaks as though the world itself is pausing to admire its own reflection. To sit beside such a lake is to feel time slow, thoughts calm, and the mind rest. Even in the air, Earth holds wonders that soothe. One such marvel is the gentle dance of auroras, curtains of green, pink, and violet light that shimmer across polar skies. Caused by particles from the sun colliding with our atmosphere, they appear as flowing waves, as though the sky is painted by invisible brushes. For centuries, people have gazed at auroras and felt both awe and peace, imagining them as spirits, messages, or celestial music. Scientists now understand their mechanics, yet the wonder remains undimmed. Imagine lying on a snowy field beneath such lights, the world hushed, the air crisp, the sky alive with slow-moving color. There are few experiences more dreamlike, more restful, than watching the heavens breathe in color. Now let us travel inward into forests once more. Beneath the soil of these forests lies something called the wood wide web, a vast network of fungi connecting trees to one another. Through this network, trees share nutrients, send warnings, even nourish their young. When a tree is struggling, others may pass it the food it needs through these hidden threads. It is an unseen kindness, a reminder that life thrives not in isolation but in connection. Next time you walk in a forest, remember that beneath your feet lies a living web of communication, a silent community ensuring that no tree stands entirely alone. There is comfort in knowing that even nature practices compassion. Beyond forests, in the frozen north, we find another calming truth. Snow itself is a masterpiece of symmetry. Every snowflake, no matter how fleeting, forms with a structure of perfect crystals. No two are identical, and yet all are based on the same hexagonal design. To catch one on your glove and watch it melt is to witness a sculpture of incredible beauty, created silently in the clouds, only to vanish in seconds. Imagine lying in a field as snow drifts down, each flake a unique piece of art, countless patterns falling around you in hushed silence. Snow is not just cold, it is a reminder of fleeting beauty, of how even the simplest things can be endlessly unique. Earth's animals too carry their own gentle wonders. Take whales for instance. These enormous beings, the largest animals ever to live, communicate with hauntingly beautiful songs that can travel hundreds of miles underwater. Their low, resonant calls create a kind of underwater symphony, connecting whales across vast distances. For us, their songs sound both sad and soothing, as though the ocean itself is humming. Some scientists believe whales pass down songs from generation to generation, entire cultures of sound drifting through the seas. To listen to a whale song is to be reminded that even the largest, most powerful beings on Earth choose to speak softly. Birds also bring relaxation with their own voices. The dawn chorus, the collective singing of birds at sunrise, is a global phenomenon. From sparrows in cities to nightingales in forests, countless species join in greeting the day with song. Scientists suggest it may be to claim territory or attract mates, but for us, it is simply music. Imagine waking in a meadow, the air still cool, the horizon glowing pink, and all around the rising sound of birds calling together, layer upon layer of song. It is one of Earth's natural orchestras, played daily without fail, available to anyone who listens. Even the smallest creatures carry serenity in their ways. Honeybees, for instance, communicate through dances. When a bee discovers a field of flowers, it returns to the hive and performs a waggle dance, moving in precise patterns that tell others where to find nectar. This tiny dance, performed in darkness within the hive, ensures the survival of the whole colony. Imagine that, a language of movement, performed not with words but with rhythm, guiding others to nourishment. In this, bees remind us that communication does not need noise, that sometimes quiet gestures can carry the deepest meaning. And then there is the sky once again, this time filled with clouds. Clouds may seem ordinary, yet they are endlessly soothing. From wispy cirrus drifting high to heavy cumulus that glow at sunset, clouds shape-shift constantly, painting the heavens in soft patterns. To lie on your back and watch them drift is to practice a form of meditation, a letting go of time as shapes form and dissolve overhead. Even storms, when seen from a safe distance, carry beauty in their towering power, lightning flickering silently within dark masses. Clouds remind us that nothing is permanent, that all things move and change, yet beauty can be found in every stage. As we close this part of our journey, take with you the thought that Earth's gentlest truths are not hidden, but waiting in plain sight. Glowing seas, silent forests, drifting clouds, singing whales, each one is an invitation to slow down, to look, to listen. Our world is rich not just in survival, but in serenity, a serenity offered freely, like a soft hand reaching out to calm the restless mind. And tomorrow, when you step outside, perhaps you will see a simple leaf, a drifting cloud, a bird's song. And remember that these are not ordinary at all. They are Earth's gifts, patient and timeless, waiting for us to notice. As we drift deeper into Earth's soothing wonders, let us pause to remember that relaxation often comes not from the extraordinary, but from the ordinary seen with gentle attention. The planet is filled with quiet marvels, each one whispering peace if only we take the time to notice. Tonight, let us wander further into those hidden corners where calm resides. One such place is the tide pools along rocky shores. At low tide, the ocean retreats and leaves behind small, shimmering worlds trapped in stone basins. Within them live starfish, sea anemones, crabs, and tiny fish, each going about its life in silence. A tide pool is like a miniature ocean, perfectly balanced yet fleeting, soon to be reclaimed by the sea. To peer into one is to see an entire universe in a bowl of water, a reminder that even the smallest spaces hold infinite stories. Imagine kneeling by the shore, watching sunlight ripple across shells and kelp, knowing that beneath the surface, life continues undisturbed. It is a meditation in itself, the sea offering you a window into its secrets. Another gentle truth lies in Earth's caves. Hidden beneath the ground, caves form slowly over thousands of years as water carves through stone, creating vast halls and delicate formations. Stalactites hang from ceilings like frozen raindrops, while stalagmites rise from the floor like slow-growing trees of stone. Some caves are so silent that you can hear your own breath echo. Others contain underground rivers, their waters flowing unseen, carrying the same rhythm as surface streams. There is comfort in knowing that even in darkness, life finds a way, blind fish, pale insects, and fungi thriving in quiet resilience. Caves remind us that beneath the busy surface of the world, there is always a deeper stillness. Let us rise now from darkness into the glow of fireflies. On summer nights in many parts of the world, fields and forests come alive with soft pulses of light. Each flicker is a signal, part of a gentle dance of communication between fireflies. In some regions, entire groups synchronize, lighting up together in waves that ripple across the night. To witness this is to feel as though the stars have descended to the grass, breathing in time with the earth. These fragile insects, glowing softly in silence, create one of the most magical and calming sights on the planet. Imagine walking through a meadow filled with their glow, every step surrounded by living lanterns, as if the night itself is whispering comfort. And yet, relaxation can be found not only in light but also in darkness. True darkness is rare in modern times, but in places far from cities, deserts, forests, mountain valleys, night falls so deeply that the sky is filled with stars beyond counting. Astronomers call these places dark sky reserves, where the Milky Way is visible as a glowing river across the heavens. To lie beneath such a sky is to feel your own worries shrink, to see yourself as part of something vast and eternal. The quiet immensity of the cosmos is perhaps one of Earth's most calming gifts, for it reminds us that our troubles are small compared to the infinite beauty of existence. Even storms can hold serenity when seen from a place of safety. The sound of rain falling on leaves or rooftops has long been known to calm the mind. Scientists call this pink noise, a balanced pattern of sound that soothes the brain and encourages rest. Thunder, too, though powerful, can carry a rolling rhythm that feels like Earth clearing its voice. Lightning, fleeting and bright, illuminates the world for just a heartbeat, then vanishes, leaving behind the soft patter of rain once more. Imagine lying in bed, wrapped in blankets, as rain taps gently at the window and distant thunder hums across the sky. In that moment, the storm becomes not something to fear but a lullaby. The Earth also provides healing through hot springs. Heated by underground geothermal activity, these pools rise warm and steaming to the surface, offering comfort to those who bathe in them. From Iceland to Japan, from Yellowstone to the Andes, hot springs have been places of rest for centuries. The warmth relaxes muscles, the minerals soothe the skin, and the gentle rising steam creates an atmosphere of peace. Imagine sinking into one beneath a snowy sky, feeling the contrast of cold air and warm water. The Earth itself cradles you, sharing its deep, hidden warmth. It is as if the planet is embracing you directly, offering not just beauty but comfort. There is also peace in the slow turning of Earth's grasses. Vast prairies and savannas, stretching for miles, ripple in the wind like oceans of green and gold. Each blade bends, sways, and rises again, creating waves that roll across the land. Animals graze quietly, birds rise in flocks, and the horizon seems endless. To stand in such a place is to feel both small and safe, surrounded by life yet untouched by hurry. Grasslands remind us that beauty is not always in dramatic peaks or deep seas, but in gentle constancy, in the quiet rhythm of wind and growth. Consider too the drifting of sand dunes. In deserts, wind shapes dunes into patterns that move slowly across the landscape, rising and falling like frozen waves. Though they shift, they do so with patience, moving only a few meters each year. Yet over centuries, entire deserts change shape, sculpted by nothing but air. Walk upon a dune at sunset, and the sand glows with warmth, each grain catching light as though sprinkled with gold. Beneath your feet are particles that may have traveled across continents, carried by winds over thousands of years. The desert teaches us the beauty of slowness, the power of persistence, and the calm of stillness. And then, finally for tonight, let us look at meadows filled with wildflowers. In spring and summer, fields erupt in color: red poppies, blue cornflowers, yellow daisies, each bloom turning toward the sun. The fragrance of flowers carries on the breeze, while bees and butterflies move from one to another, adding gentle motion to the scene. To lie in a meadow, listening to the buzz of life and watching petals flutter, is to rest in Earth's embrace. Wildflowers bloom not for us but for themselves, yet in their blooming they bring peace to all who pause to notice. They remind us that beauty does not need purpose to matter, it simply is. As this part draws to a close, remember that the world's calmest truths lie not in distant galaxies or unreachable heights, but here at home, in tide pools and caves, fireflies and flowers, rain and rivers of sand. Earth is not only our home, it is our sanctuary. And if you listen closely, it will always remind you, peace is already here, waiting quietly in the world around you. As our gentle exploration continues, let us move deeper into the tapestry of Earth's calm wonders. Each step we take reminds us that relaxation does not come from forcing stillness, but from observing how naturally stillness arises in the world around us. The planet is filled with places, rhythms, and creatures that embody peace, if only we allow ourselves to notice them. Let us begin with the gentle sway of kelp forests beneath the ocean waves. In the cool waters off coastlines such as California, vast underwater forests of giant kelp rise like underwater trees, stretching upward toward the light. Their long fronds drift gracefully with the currents, creating a world of green cathedrals where fish and sea otters find shelter. To swim or drift among kelp is to enter a realm of slow motion, where everything moves with the rhythm of the sea, unhurried, unbroken. Imagine lying on your back just beneath the surface, looking upward as beams of sunlight filter through waving kelp leaves, painting the water in soft patterns. Here, in this submerged sanctuary, Earth reveals how silence and movement can coexist in harmony. From oceans, let us rise into the stillness of mountain meadows. High above the treeline, where forests give way to open grass, meadows burst into bloom during short summers. Wildflowers carpet the ground in dazzling colors, while marmots whistle softly and butterflies flit from blossom to blossom. Yet despite this activity, a meadow feels profoundly quiet. Perhaps it is the way sound carries differently at altitude, softened by thin air, or perhaps it is the vastness of the sky above. Whatever the reason, these places seem to slow the heartbeat, reminding us that peace can be found where the world pauses to breathe. Another calming truth lies in Earth's glaciers. At first, they seem cold and forbidding, but glaciers are rivers of ice, moving slowly, steadily, shaping valleys and mountains over millennia. Their surface may appear still, yet deep within they flow with patient power, grinding stone to dust and carrying it away. On a quiet day, if you listen closely near a glacier, you may hear creaks and groans as the ice shifts, the planet's ancient voice speaking in tones older than humanity. Imagine standing beside such a giant, feeling the crisp air, watching sunlight sparkle across endless ice. The glacier does not rush, does not hurry, yet it changes the world with its slow persistence. And then there are coral atolls, rings of coral islands encircling calm lagoons in the middle of vast oceans. These formations begin with volcanic islands that slowly sink, leaving behind coral reefs that continue to grow upward, forming circles of protection. Within the lagoon, the water is often so still that it reflects the sky perfectly, blurring the line between sea and heavens. To stand on an atoll is to feel suspended between two infinities, the vast open ocean on one side, and the tranquil mirror of the lagoon on the other. Such places remind us that Earth creates sanctuaries even in the middle of wilderness, havens where calm is preserved by nature itself. Consider also the soft rhythm of Earth's winds. Though we often think of wind as restless, there are moments when it becomes one of the most soothing experiences on the planet. The gentle rustling of leaves, the way tall grass bends and rises again, or the cool breeze on a summer evening, all of these are forms of Earth's breath. Even scientists note that the frequency of wind through trees creates a natural white noise that calms the human brain, much like the sound of waves or rainfall. Imagine lying beneath a tree as its leaves whisper, the wind carrying scents of earth and flowers, brushing against your skin like an unseen hand. In that moment, you are listening to Earth breathe, and in its rhythm you find your own. One of Earth's more surprising calming wonders is moss. Found in forests, on stones, and even along streams, moss creates soft green carpets that invite both the eyes and the mind to rest. Unlike many plants, moss requires little to survive. It simply absorbs water from the air, spreading slowly, patiently. In Japan, entire gardens are dedicated to moss, celebrated for their stillness and subtle beauty. Walking barefoot across a mossy patch feels like stepping on the planet's own cushion, cool and soft, grounding you to the earth. Moss teaches us that sometimes the smallest, simplest forms of life carry the deepest sense of peace. In rivers, we find yet another lesson in calm. As rivers approach their mouths, they often split into wide deltas, flowing gently into the sea. These deltas are some of the most fertile and life-filled places on Earth, yet they move with quiet grace. Channels weave like braids, carrying silt that nourishes plants and animals. Birds gather in flocks, fish spawn in abundance, and grasses wave in the breeze. To watch a river delta from above is to see Earth painting with water, creating ever-shifting patterns of beauty. And within that quiet flow is a truth. All journeys eventually find their way to rest, merging into something larger, something infinite. Even in the driest regions, Earth offers tranquility. Salt flats, such as those in Bolivia, stretch for miles in unbroken whiteness. After rain, they become the world's largest mirror, reflecting skies so perfectly that horizon disappears. Standing there, it feels as though you are walking in the clouds caught between heaven and earth. The silence is absolute, the stillness unbroken, yet the beauty is overwhelming. These landscapes remind us that peace can come from emptiness, from simplicity, from vastness so pure that it erases all worry. Let us also not forget the song of cicadas and crickets on summer nights. These insects create a continuous hum, rising and falling with the heat of the day, then softening as night falls. Their chorus may seem repetitive, but it carries the same soothing effect as waves or rain, a natural lullaby, steady and calming. For countless generations, people have fallen asleep to these songs, comforted by their constancy. Imagine lying in a hammock beneath a starry sky, listening to the rhythmic music of insects, feeling the world settle into rest around you. In their steady chorus, there is reassurance. Life continues, the earth hums gently, and you are part of its rhythm. And so, as this chapter of our journey closes, take with you the thought that peace is everywhere on earth, in glowing kelp forests, in mossy stones, in mirrored salt flats, in the hum of summer nights. The world does not demand our attention. It simply offers its calm, waiting for us to notice. If you let yourself listen closely, you will hear it in every breeze, see it in every reflection, and feel it in every step across the land. Earth does not hurry, yet it holds infinite beauty. And as we move forward, let us remember to walk gently, to breathe deeply, and to find rest in the sanctuary we call home. As we continue this unhurried journey, let us allow Earth's quiet marvels to guide us deeper into restfulness. Each fact we encounter is not simply knowledge, but a gentle reminder of how the world itself carries peace within its very design. Tonight, we move further into that tapestry of calm, noticing how Earth's smallest details and grandest vistas both whisper the same truth: beauty thrives in stillness. Let us begin with waterfalls. They may roar with power, yet there is also a strange serenity in their endless motion. Water falls not with hesitation, but with complete surrender, tumbling gracefully over cliffs, pooling below, then continuing on its journey. Around them, the air is filled with negative ions, particles shown to lift mood and calm the mind. No wonder so many people feel refreshed when standing near a waterfall, breathing in its mist. Imagine yourself at a quiet cascade deep in the forest, sunlight filtering through leaves, rainbows forming in the spray. The water has fallen for centuries, yet in every moment it feels new, alive, and comforting. From waterfalls, let us drift into the gentle rhythm of tides. Twice each day the ocean rises and falls, pulled by the moon's gravity. For thousands of years, humans have lived by this rhythm. Fishermen, sailors, coastal dwellers, all in tune with the ocean's pulse. The predictability of tides is deeply calming, a reminder that some things move with perfect regularity, no matter what else changes. To stand at the shore and watch waves creep higher, then retreat, is to witness the universe keeping time. The moon, silent and steady in the sky, moves entire oceans without sound, guiding Earth with invisible threads of gravity. What could be more soothing than knowing that the cosmos itself is part of our planet's rhythm? Consider now the beauty of Earth's fog. On cool mornings, fog rolls gently across valleys and hills, softening every edge. Trees appear like shadows, fields turn into silver seas, and sound itself seems muted. Fog is simply water droplets suspended in air, but it transforms landscapes into dreamscapes. In some cultures, fog is seen as a veil between worlds, a reminder of mystery and quiet. Imagine waking early, stepping outside to find your familiar world wrapped in mist, every detail blurred into softness. In that moment, the earth feels like it is pausing, breathing deeply before the day begins. Another soothing wonder is found in volcanic soil. At first glance, volcanoes seem fierce, symbols of destruction. Yet in time, the ash and lava they release create some of the richest, most fertile soils on Earth. Entire rainforests, vineyards, and farms thrive on volcanic ground. Life, once seemingly erased, returns stronger than before. There is comfort in this. The planet's ability to transform upheaval into nourishment, to take fire and turn it into fruit. It is a reminder to us too that even after storms, renewal is possible. The earth does not fear change, it embraces it, and from it, new beauty arises. Let us look to islands, those jewels scattered across the seas. Each island is its own world, isolated yet complete. Some, like the Galapagos, harbor creatures found nowhere else on Earth, while others, like the Maldives, form delicate rings above turquoise waters. Islands embody balance, a microcosm of life sustained by cooperation, each plant and animal depending on the others. To sit on a quiet beach, waves lapping softly, palms swaying in the breeze, is to feel both protected and free. Islands remind us that even in solitude there can be peace, and that the smallest places can hold entire worlds of wonder. The earth also offers us the gentle gift of twilight. That fleeting time between day and night, when the world is neither bright nor dark, carries a unique calm. The sky glows in shades of lavender, rose, and gold, while shadows lengthen and sounds soften. Birds settle into nests, crickets begin their songs, and humans too often feel a natural slowing at dusk. Scientists say our bodies respond to the changing light, releasing hormones that prepare us for rest. Twilight is Earth's daily reminder to pause, to breathe, to let go of the day. Imagine walking home as the sky deepens to violet, the first stars appearing, and the world easing itself into night. Even beneath the oceans, the planet offers gentle spectacles. Seagrass meadows sway in the currents, creating underwater plains that shelter turtles, seahorses, and countless fish. These meadows absorb carbon, purify water, and slow waves, yet they do all this quietly without recognition. To swim through one is to drift in a dream, surrounded by ribbons of green that move as one. Like forests above, they remind us that life's calmest work often happens unseen, in silence, in patience. In the Arctic and Antarctic, where cold reigns, another wonder unfolds, the beauty of icebergs. These floating giants, sculpted by time and sea, gleam with shades of blue, turquoise, and white. Their surfaces may be jagged or smooth, their shapes ever-changing as they drift. Beneath the water, far more lies hidden than what the eye can see. To watch an iceberg is to see a lesson in perspective, that most of what exists is unseen, that beauty is as much about mystery as it is about clarity. Imagine sitting on a shore, watching icebergs drift slowly past, their silence broken only by the soft splash of melting water. The cold may bite, but the scene itself is deeply tranquil. And then there are rainbows. Simple, fleeting, yet endlessly captivating. Formed by sunlight bending through raindrops, they arc across the sky in colors so perfect they feel otherworldly. Rainbows have inspired myths, songs, and stories across cultures, often seen as bridges or promises. But beyond symbolism, they are simply a reminder that beauty can arise when light meets water. To stand in a soft drizzle, watching the sun break through clouds and paint the sky, is to witness Earth's poetry written in color. And though rainbows vanish quickly, their memory lingers, teaching us to cherish the moment. As we close this part of our journey, let us hold on to these soothing truths. Waterfalls surrendering to gravity, tides guided by the moon, fog wrapping the land in softness, volcanic soil turning fire into life, and rainbows painting the air with hope. Each of these is Earth's quiet message, that peace can be found in surrender, in patience, in renewal, and in fleeting beauty. The world is always speaking softly, we only need to listen. As our exploration deepens, let us continue moving gently across the planet, uncovering its softest truths and most tranquil wonders. Each fact we discover is like a whisper in the great conversation between Earth and those who take time to listen. Tonight, we follow that conversation into places where nature slows, where stillness becomes beauty, and where calm rises effortlessly from the world around us. Let us begin with the miracle of dew. On cool mornings, tiny drops of water form on leaves, grass, and petals, catching sunlight like jewels. Dew is created when warm air cools overnight, condensing moisture onto the surfaces of plants. It may seem ordinary, Yet to see a meadow at sunrise, each blade of grass tipped with crystal droplets, is to witness the earth adorned in diamonds. Farmers of old relied on dew to water their crops during dry seasons, calling it nature's blessing. To walk barefoot through a dew-covered field is to feel the earth's cool touch, reminding us that refreshment can come silently, without storm or rain, only through patience and time. Another soothing wonder is the slow drift of clouds across mountain peaks. In many places, moist air rises, cools, and condenses, forming orographic clouds that crown summits in white. To watch them is to see Earth breathe, clouds forming, dissolving, reshaping endlessly in silence. At times, peaks appear and vanish as veils of mist move like dancers across their faces. Such scenes remind us that permanence is an illusion. Even mountains, which seem eternal, are dressed in garments that shift moment to moment. Imagine sitting in a high valley, gazing upward as clouds glide silently past, each one a painting that changes even as you watch. From the heights, let us move to the soft floors of forests, where carpets of fallen leaves create their own tranquility. Each autumn, trees release their leaves in cascades of color, letting go so that new life may come in spring. Those leaves, in turn, feed the soil, nurturing fungi, insects, and eventually the trees themselves. Walking through a forest in autumn, the ground crackling softly underfoot, is a reminder of nature's cycles, that letting go is not an end but a gift, a quiet promise of renewal. The scent of fallen leaves, earthy and sweet, is one of Earth's most calming perfumes, grounding us in the rhythm of change. Consider also the stillness of caves filled with crystals. Some caverns, such as Mexico's Cave of the Crystals, contain selenite formations taller than humans, shimmering with translucent light. For centuries they grew in silence, hidden from view, their beauty known only to the earth itself. Standing within such a space, one feels both small and deeply connected to time's patience. Crystals form not in haste, but with infinite slowness, layering over ages until they become luminous monuments of calm. They are Earth's testimony to the beauty of waiting. In the skies, another quiet wonder awaits. Halos around the sun or moon. Caused by ice crystals high in the atmosphere, these rings glow faintly, encircling light with delicate crowns. People across cultures have watched these halos for centuries, often treating them as omens, though in truth they are simply the play of light through frozen air. To stand beneath a night sky where the moon is wrapped in a soft halo is to feel the heavens bending gently around you, as though offering a circle of protection. It is a moment where the vastness of the sky feels suddenly intimate, tender, and close. The seas, too, carry their calming secrets. In certain regions, the ocean produces what is called the Milky Sea phenomenon, where vast stretches glow faintly at night due to bioluminescent bacteria. Sailors describe it as sailing through a glowing ocean, as though the water itself had become liquid light. This rare sight can stretch for miles, bathing the horizon in pale blue luminescence. Imagine drifting on a calm night, no sound but the lapping of waves, and all around you, the ocean glowing softly as though the stars themselves had melted into the sea. It is Earth's way of turning even darkness into gentle radiance. Another calming fact lies in the balance of coral reefs and mangroves. In tropical regions, mangrove forests grow along coastlines, their roots twisting into the water like living sculptures. These roots protect the shore, shelter fish, and nurture coral reefs offshore. Together, mangroves and reefs create ecosystems of resilience, absorbing waves, calming storms, and sustaining countless lives. To paddle through mangroves at dusk, with birds calling softly and water reflecting the last light, is to drift into stillness itself. Their tangled roots remind us that strength comes not from rigidity, but from flexibility, from swaying with the tide while holding firm to the earth. On land there are places of equal calm, rolling hills. Unlike the drama of mountains, hills rise gently, offering views that are broad and soft. Covered in grass or fields, they invite wandering, resting, and reflection. In many cultures, hills are considered sacred not for their height but for their serenity. Imagine sitting atop a quiet hill, the land unfolding around you in waves of green and gold, the horizon distant but never sharp. Hills do not overwhelm, they invite. They are Earth's gentle embrace, landscapes that soothe rather than astonish. And finally, for this part, let us pause with Earth's fruit trees. In spring, they burst into blossoms that fill the air with fragrance, and by summer and autumn, they bend with the weight of fruit: apples, cherries, peaches, mangoes. These trees offer nourishment not with noise or drama, but with quiet abundance year after year. To sit beneath one, feeling the shade of its leaves and the sweetness of its offering, is to feel directly cared for by the planet. The simple act of biting into ripe fruit, sun-warmed and fragrant, is a reminder that Earth's gifts are often the most ordinary, yet in their ordinariness lies immense comfort. As this part of our journey closes, we have wandered through dew-covered mornings, cloud-crowned mountains, autumn forests, crystal caves, halos of light, glowing seas, mangrove sanctuaries, rolling hills, and orchards heavy with fruit. Each of these is a gentle truth, that Earth does not need to shout to be beautiful. Its calmest wonders are those that unfold in silence, in cycles, in patience. And when we notice them, we find not only knowledge but peace, a peace that reminds us that we too belong to this rhythm, this stillness, this sanctuary of life. As we continue this gentle walk through Earth's quiet marvels, let us remember that relaxation is not found only in the extraordinary. It is woven into the small, the slow, the subtle patterns of nature. The more closely we listen, the more we see that the planet is filled with lullabies, some sung by waves, some whispered by leaves, others carried silently in stone or light. Each one is a reminder that peace is not something to chase, it is already here waiting for us. Let us begin with the calm beauty of rice terraces. In places like Bali, the Philippines, or China's Longji Mountains, farmers have carved hillsides into steps of green. These terraces follow the curves of the land, reflecting sunlight in pools of water, creating landscapes that look like living artwork. Yet their beauty is not accidental. Each terrace is designed to manage water gently, allowing crops to thrive. To gaze upon them is to see harmony between human care and Earth's patience. Imagine standing on a ridge, looking down at layer upon layer of emerald fields glistening in the sun, each step a quiet collaboration between people and the planet. From the sculpted land, let us move to Earth's natural silence: canyons. Formed by rivers cutting slowly through stone, canyons reveal the patient artistry of time. Their walls hold layers of history, each stripe a chapter written over millions of years. Though vast, they carry a profound stillness. Sound seems to vanish between their cliffs, replaced by the soft echo of wind or water far below. To sit at the edge of a canyon at sunset, watching shadows lengthen and colors shift from gold to crimson, is to feel deeply grounded, humbled by the slow, steady hand of the earth. Canyons remind us that time is not a rush, but a sculptor that works best in patience. Another soothing wonder lies in Earth's wetlands. Marshes, swamps, and peatlands may seem unremarkable at first, but they are places of profound calm. Water moves slowly here, filtering through reeds and mosses, creating mirrors of sky and home for countless creatures. Frogs croak softly, dragonflies dart in glimmers of light, and herons move with deliberate grace. Wetlands are also guardians of balance, absorbing floods, storing carbon, and purifying water. Yet they do all this quietly without recognition. Imagine sitting by a marsh at dusk, fireflies rising, the air humming with soft life. A scene where stillness and abundance coexist perfectly. From water we turn to sand once more, this time to beaches at low tide. As the sea retreats, wide stretches of sand are revealed, patterned with ripples shaped by waves. Tiny shells, seaweed, and footprints of birds mark the surface, each telling a story. The rhythm of waves continues in the distance, but the beach itself becomes a place of openness and calm. Walking barefoot across wet sand, feeling it cool beneath your feet, listening to the gentle hiss of waves, is to experience Earth's simplest meditation. Every grain of sand, once part of mountains and stones, has traveled countless miles to arrive here, reminding us that even the smallest things carry ancient journeys. The Earth also offers calm through its windswept plains. In places like Mongolia or the American Midwest, grasslands stretch farther than the eye can see, their horizons softened by distance. The air here moves freely, carrying scents of earth and wildflowers, while skylarks sing overhead. Life on the plains is unhurried, shaped by the slow rhythm of seasons and the steady grazing of herds. To lie in the grass and watch clouds drift endlessly above is to feel the weight of time dissolve, to sense the vastness of space and the simplicity of being. Plains teach us that openness itself can be a source of peace. In the forests of the world, another calming truth awaits: the quiet persistence of lichens. These delicate organisms, part fungus and part algae, cling to rocks, trees, and even rooftops, painting the world in shades of green, gray, and gold. They grow slowly, sometimes only a few millimeters per year, yet they endure in places where few others can survive. Some lichens are centuries old, outlasting storms, droughts, and even human memory. To notice them is to notice resilience in its softest form, life thriving not through speed or strength, but through patience and quiet presence. Lichens remind us that beauty can be almost invisible but no less profound. And then there are Earth's gentle skies filled with migrating birds. Twice each year, millions of birds travel thousands of miles, guided by instinct, stars, and the planet's magnetic field. Their journeys cross continents and oceans, yet they are made with grace and precision. To stand in a field and watch a flock of geese fly overhead in their familiar V-shape is to witness one of Earth's oldest songs of movement. The sound of their calls, the sight of their wings beating in unison, is both grounding and uplifting. Migration reminds us that life moves in cycles, that journeys and returns are part of nature's eternal rhythm. Consider, too, the calm of volcanic islands where lava meets the sea. At first, it seems like fire and water in conflict, but in truth, it is the planet renewing itself. New land forms quietly, grain by grain, as cooled lava hardens into black stone. Over time, moss, grass, and trees will take root, and life will bloom where once there was only fire. This cycle is both fierce and soothing, showing us that creation and destruction are not opposites, but partners in Earth's eternal dance. To watch new land being born is to see resilience itself, the promise that even in endings, beginnings await. In colder places, the quiet artistry of frost brings its own peace. On winter mornings, grass, branches, and windows may be coated with delicate patterns of ice crystals. Each design is unique, forming as water vapor freezes in intricate shapes. To step outside into a frosty morning is to enter a world touched by nature's brush, where every twig sparkles in the rising sun. Frost, like snow, is fleeting, vanishing with the day's warmth, yet in its short life it offers a beauty so delicate that it feels like a gift. To breathe in the cold air, to see your breath join the morning mist, is to feel part of that fragile stillness. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the sound of waves against cliffs. Unlike the gentle lap of water on beaches, these waves strike stone with a rhythm that is both powerful and calming. The sea, in its endless patience, wears cliffs down grain by grain, creating sea arches, caves, and stacks. To sit on a cliffside and listen to this eternal rhythm is to hear time itself at work, shaping the land slowly, ceaselessly, without urgency. The sound, steady and strong, becomes like the heartbeat of the world, grounding us in the knowledge that the earth endures. As this part closes, we have walked among terraces shaped by human hands, canyons carved by rivers, wetlands humming with life, beaches patterned by waves, plains open to the horizon, lichens clinging patiently, migrating birds crossing skies, volcanic islands forming anew, frost painting the morning, and waves carving stone. Each scene carries the same message: peace is not far away. It lives in the land, the water, the sky, the very cycles of time. And when we listen with patience, we find ourselves resting in the planet's calm embrace. As our gentle journey continues, let us wander into more of Earth's quiet treasures, the kinds of wonders that unfold without hurry, offering peace not through grandeur alone but through subtle rhythms, soft sounds, and patient patterns. The planet is full of these lullabies, inviting us to pause, to notice, and to rest in its care. Let us begin with the calm of drifting snow on a still night. When snow falls without wind, each flake descends slowly, twirling softly as it settles on rooftops, trees, and fields. The world grows quiet, as though the snow muffles every sound. Scientists explain this hush. Snow absorbs noise, blanketing the land in silence. For those who step outside during such moments, the peace is almost otherworldly. Imagine standing beneath a street lamp, watching countless flakes drift like feathers, the air crisp, the ground glowing white. In that silence, time feels suspended, and the earth itself seems to whisper, "Rest." From snow, let us move to the soft rhythm of ocean currents. Beneath the surface, water is always moving. The Gulf Stream carrying warmth across the Atlantic, the Pacific currents guiding nutrients through vast distances. These flows are steady, ancient, and essential to life, yet they move without fanfare. Creatures drift with them, plankton bloom in their paths, and continents are touched by their balance. To float in a current is to surrender, to be carried gently across the water's surface as though the ocean itself is guiding you. Like tides and seasons, currents remind us that Earth's power can be calm, invisible, and continuous. Another soothing wonder lies in rainforests during rainfall. In these lush regions, rain is not an interruption but a heartbeat. Drops fall steadily, drumming on leaves, pooling on the ground, feeding roots. The smell of rain mixing with earth, petrichor, is stronger here, rich and grounding. Birds and frogs often join in with calls, turning the rain into an orchestra of life. To sit beneath a broad leaf, listening to the steady rhythm of raindrops, is to feel at home in the earth's embrace. Rainforests teach us that abundance comes not from rushing, but from steady nourishment, given and received without end. Consider also the stillness of alpine lakes. Fed by glaciers and mountain streams, these waters rest in high valleys, clear and unbroken, reflecting peaks and skies with perfect symmetry. To stand by such a lake is to witness balance. Land and sky meeting in harmony, every ripple revealing both worlds at once. In many cultures, these lakes are seen as sacred, places where heaven and earth meet. Imagine dipping your hand into water so cold and pure it feels like touching time itself, each drop carrying the history of ice and stone. Alpine lakes remind us that calm can be both profound and simple, a mirror to the sky held in a basin of earth. Earth also offers serenity through deserts at night. During the day, deserts may seem harsh, but as the sun sets, the air cools, the sky opens, and stars blaze with unmatched clarity. In the silence, constellations appear brighter than anywhere else, unclouded by moisture or city lights. Lying on the sand, you may feel as though the universe itself is pressing close, its countless stars watching quietly over you. The desert night is not empty, it is vast, eternal, and deeply soothing. Each grain of sand beneath you once part of stone, each star above you part of galaxies, together reminding you that rest is found in belonging to something infinite. From desert skies, let us turn to the gentle wonder of waterfalls that freeze into ice. In winter, some falls transform into frozen curtains, shimmering in sunlight like glass. Though still, they hold the memory of motion, frozen mid-dance. Climbers sometimes scale them, but even to stand at their base is to feel awe and peace. The frozen waterfall is a paradox. Motion paused, power hushed, beauty held in silence. It is a reminder that even the strongest forces can rest, that stillness itself is a kind of strength. Another relaxing truth lies in fields of lavender. Across Provence in France or valleys in Bulgaria, purple waves stretch to the horizon, filling the air with fragrance. Lavender has long been known to calm the mind, its oils easing stress and aiding sleep. But beyond science, the experience itself is soothing. Standing in a field as bees hum softly, the air sweet and warm, colors glowing beneath the sun. Each blossom tiny, yet together they create an ocean of peace. To walk through lavender fields is to feel yourself immersed in calm, carried on fragrance and color alike. On rocky coasts, another kind of calm emerges in tidal caves. As waves enter and retreat, they create deep, resonant sounds, echoes that seem like earth itself breathing. Some caves hum like organs, each wave a note in nature's symphony. To sit within one, watching light flicker on wet stone, listening to the rise and fall of sound, is to feel part of something ancient and elemental. These caves remind us that the earth sings in places we rarely think to listen, its voice low, patient, and steady. The planet also whispers calm through fields of wheat swaying in summer breezes. Golden stalks bend and rise in unison, waves of grain rolling gently across the land. Farmers have watched this sight for millennia, trusting the harvest that comes each season. To walk through such a field, hearing the soft rustle of stalks and the song of larks overhead, is to feel the heartbeat of rural life, steady and unchanging. Grain fields remind us that peace often lies in cycles we can trust, in work that nourishes both body and spirit, in landscapes shaped by patience and care. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the beauty of sunrises over oceans. When the first light touches the water, it turns waves to gold and paints the sky in soft hues. The world feels reborn, yet in a way that is gentle, unhurried. Fishermen set out quietly, seabirds glide low, and the sea reflects every shade of dawn. To watch the sun rise over the horizon is to see Earth's daily promise, that light returns, that rest leads to renewal, that beauty is always waiting in the next moment. Imagine sitting on the shore, feeling the cool sand beneath you as the sky shifts from indigo to rose, and the day awakens not with noise but with grace. As this chapter ends, we have wandered through snow's hush, ocean currents, rainforest rains, alpine mirrors, desert skies, frozen falls, lavender fields, tidal caves, golden wheat, and ocean sunrises. Each one is a doorway into calm, a reminder that Earth is not chaotic but deeply ordered in ways that soothe us if we stop to notice. Peace is not rare, it is everywhere, as constant as dawn, as steady as tides, as soft as falling snow. As our journey drifts onward, let us step softly into more of Earth's quiet wonders, the kinds that do not demand attention but reward it when given. These are the places and moments where the world itself seems to pause, as though offering us a chance to rest within its embrace. Each discovery is not just knowledge but a gentle reminder that calm is woven into the fabric of life. Let us begin with meandering rivers. Unlike rushing torrents, these rivers curve gracefully through valleys, creating wide loops and bends that change slowly over centuries. They do not hurry, they take the long path, shaping fertile floodplains and nourishing life along their banks. To sit beside a meandering river is to feel time slow, the water moving steadily but without urgency. Birds skim its surface, willows lean into its flow, and fish glide quietly beneath. Such rivers are nature's meditation, flowing with purpose yet without haste, reminding us that progress need not be rushed to be meaningful. From rivers, let us move to Earth's soft carpets of clover. In fields and gardens, these small plants spread gently across the ground, their leaves forming endless patterns of green. To lie in a clover patch, breathing in the scent of grass and soil, is to feel comforted by Earth's simplest gift. Occasionally one may find a four-leaf clover, a symbol of luck. But even without rarity, clovers offer peace through abundance, covering the land in quiet beauty. Imagine lying in such a field on a warm afternoon, clouds drifting above, the hum of bees in the air, a scene of perfect simplicity. Another calming truth lies in the hush of snowy forests. When snow falls on trees, their branches bow under its weight, creating cathedrals of silence. The crunch of footsteps is the only sound, muffled and soft. Animals leave delicate tracks across the ground, their movements slow and deliberate. In such places, the world feels suspended, every detail outlined in white, every sound softened into stillness. To walk through a snowy forest is to step into a dream, a world remade in purity and peace. Scientists even say that snow-covered landscapes can lower stress simply by their appearance, their brightness and calm patterns soothing the mind. From forests, let us turn to Earth's hot deserts once more, this time not for their silence but for the mirages they create. When hot air bends light, distant pools of water appear, shimmering on the horizon. Though illusions, mirages remind us of the gentle playfulness of nature, how even harsh places create beauty. To walk in the desert and glimpse such shifting visions is to remember that not everything need be solid to bring wonder. Sometimes beauty lies in appearances themselves, fleeting and untouchable, yet still soothing in their shimmer. Another soothing wonder is the bloom of cherry blossoms. In Japan and many parts of the world, spring arrives with these delicate flowers, transforming entire landscapes into clouds of pink and white. Their petals last only a short while, carried away by breezes like gentle snow. This fleeting beauty has been celebrated for centuries as a reminder of life's impermanence, that the most precious things are often those that do not last. To walk beneath cherry trees in bloom is to step into a living poem, each petal a line, each gust of wind a stanza of peace. Earth also offers calm in the rhythmic hum of bees in a summer garden. Their steady buzzing, far from being noise, is part of nature's music. Each bee moves with purpose, yet together their sound becomes a harmony that blends with rustling leaves and birdsong. To sit quietly in a garden, listening to bees move from flower to flower, is to feel the hum of life itself, busy, yet unhurried, purposeful, yet peaceful. This sound, ancient and constant, has accompanied human life for as long as we have known flowers, and it continues to remind us of nature's steady balance. Consider too the serenity of stalactite caves where water drips endlessly from above. Each drop falls with a quiet rhythm, shaping stone over millennia. To sit in such a cave is to listen to the slow heartbeat of the earth, a rhythm measured not in seconds but in centuries. The sound of dripping water, echoing softly in darkness, can soothe the mind into stillness, as though the world itself were meditating. Caves remind us that creation does not need haste. Beauty grows slowly, drop by drop, in silence. From the depths of caves, let us rise to the open skies and the soft arcs of rainbows that form not just once, but sometimes twice. Double rainbows appear when light reflects twice inside raindrops, creating two arcs, one fainter above the other. To witness this is to see abundance in beauty, as though the earth itself decided one arc was not enough. Such sights carry no noise, no permanence, yet they linger in memory as gifts. Imagine standing in a field after rain, the air fresh, the sky clearing, and two rainbows stretching across the horizon. A moment of pure peace, given freely. In grasslands and gardens, the song of crickets adds its own note of calm. Their steady chirps, created by rubbing wings together, rise and fall with temperature, often quickening in warmth and slowing as night cools. For countless people, the sound of crickets at dusk is a lullaby, marking the end of day and the start of rest. Scientists even call cricket song a natural measure of temperature, a small fact hidden in their rhythm. To lie on a porch or in a meadow, listening to their steady chorus, is to join in the calm of evening, carried by Earth's own music. And finally, let us pause with the glow of sunsets reflected on rivers. As the day closes, rivers catch the light, turning into ribbons of gold, crimson, and violet. Their surfaces ripple gently, scattering color into endless patterns. Watching such a scene is to witness both motion and stillness at once, the flow of water and the fading of light, united in harmony. To stand on a bridge or bank at such a time is to feel yourself part of a painting, a fleeting masterpiece created by Earth each evening. Sunsets remind us that endings too can be beautiful, soft, and full of calm. As this part of our journey closes, we have wandered beside meandering rivers, clover fields, snowy forests, desert mirages, cherry blossoms, humming bees, dripping caves, double rainbows, cricket choruses, and sunset rivers. Each of these is Earth's gentle gift, a reminder that peace is always available, in sound, in sight, in cycles, in silence. The world does not withhold its beauty, it offers it endlessly, waiting for us to notice. As we continue this unhurried journey, let us step deeper into the serene treasures that Earth offers, the ones that seem to hum quietly in the background of life. These are not always the spectacles that dazzle with grandeur, but the subtle rhythms, soft patterns, and fleeting beauties that ease the mind. Each one, like a soft note in a symphony, blends into the larger harmony of the world, reminding us that peace is always close. Let us begin with morning birdsong. At dawn, as the first light spreads across the sky, birds awaken and fill the air with song. This dawn chorus happens all over the world, each species adding its voice to the rising day. The effect is both lively and gentle, a natural alarm clock that greets the sun not with blaring noise but with melody. Scientists say birds sing more strongly in the morning because the air is still and sound travels farther, but to us their music feels like a gift. Imagine waking in a meadow, the cool air carrying dozens of different songs at once, weaving together into a chorus that says simply, "The world is alive and you belong to it." From the skies, Let us look to the earth itself and its quiet marsh grasses. In coastal wetlands, tall grasses bend with the tides, swaying back and forth like a great breathing body. Their roots hold the soil, their blades filter water, and their movements calm waves. Yet they do this silently, unnoticed, their value often unseen. To stand among marsh grasses as the wind moves through them is to hear whispers of Earth's resilience, a sound that soothes like a lullaby. These grasses remind us that even the simplest life forms carry immense purpose, and they offer it without need for recognition. Another calming truth lies in the soft patterns of sand dollars and seashells. Found on beaches across the world, these delicate forms carry the geometry of life itself, spirals, stars, and ridges shaped by natural design. To hold a seashell and listen is to hear the faint echo of waves, though it is only the resonance of air. Still, the illusion feels real, as if the ocean speaks through its discarded homes. Seashells and sand dollars are small, quiet reminders of the sea's endless creativity, offering peace through touch, sound, and memory. Now let us wander into orchards in springtime. When trees are covered in blossoms, the air is filled with fragrance and the gentle hum of bees. Petals drift on breezes like confetti, settling on grass and water alike. An orchard in bloom feels like the earth's way of celebrating, but in the calmest, most soothing fashion. To walk between rows of trees, each one crowned with blossoms, is to feel immersed in beauty that is soft, fragrant, and ephemeral. And when blossoms fall, they leave behind the promise of fruit, quiet abundance born from delicate beginnings. Earth also offers serenity through mountain streams. High in the peaks, snowmelt gathers into rivulets that trickle across rocks, pooling in mossy hollows before flowing onward. Their sound is soft, higher-pitched than rivers below, like silver threads of music woven through stone. To rest beside such a stream is to feel refreshed not only by sight but by sound, the gentle gurgle easing the mind. These streams may seem small, but they carry life to valleys and plains far below, reminding us that the quietest beginnings can create vast rivers of nourishment. Another soothing marvel lies in the glow of autumn sunsets. In this season, when the air cools and leaves change, sunsets often deepen in color, filling skies with shades of amber, crimson, and violet. The cool air scatters light differently, creating richer hues that seem to linger. To watch the sun dip behind hills or mountains in autumn is to feel both closure and renewal at once. The crisp air, the golden light, and the scent of fallen leaves create a scene that settles the heart into calm reflection. Consider also the softness of moss-covered stones and forests. Moss thrives where shade and dampness linger, covering rocks with green cushions. Over time, entire boulders vanish beneath its softness, turning hard stone into gentle shapes. To run your hand across moss is to feel the earth's velvet, cool and damp, a texture that soothes by its very nature. In Japan, moss gardens are cultivated as places of meditation, where stillness and softness meet. Moss teaches us that strength can be softened, that even the hardest surfaces can become gentle when time and patience are allowed to work. Another calming gift comes from Earth's fields of poppies. In spring, entire hillsides and plains can turn scarlet or golden, waves of flowers swaying in unison. These blooms appear suddenly, often after rains, carpeting the land in brilliance. Yet their effect is not overwhelming. It is gentle, like a blanket of color spread across the horizon. To walk among poppies, feeling the breeze move through them, is to be part of a dreamscape, a reminder that the earth's beauty often arrives quietly but transforms the world completely. From flowers, let us turn to the ocean once again, this time to coral lagoons. Protected by reefs, these lagoons are calm sanctuaries where waves break far from shore, leaving inner waters glassy and clear. Fish glide slowly, sea turtles rest on sandy bottoms, and the water itself glows in shades of turquoise and sapphire. To float in such a lagoon is to feel weightless, embraced by water that holds you gently without effort. These hidden sanctuaries remind us that even in the heart of vast oceans, peace finds a home. And finally, for this part, let us pause with Earth's gentle rains on rooftops. Few sounds are as soothing as raindrops tapping steadily above, a rhythm that lulls the mind into ease. Whether in a cabin in the woods or a home in the city, the effect is the same, Rain connects us to the larger cycles of the earth, bringing refreshment and rest. Some cultures even celebrate the rainy season as a time of renewal, when the world slows and life flourishes again. Imagine lying in bed, listening to steady rainfall, knowing that outside the earth is being nourished drop by drop. Rain on rooftops is more than sound, it is reassurance, a natural lullaby sung by the sky. As this chapter closes, we have lingered with dawn songs, marsh grasses, seashells, spring orchards, mountain streams, autumn sunsets, mossy stones, poppy fields, coral lagoons, and rains on rooftops. Each scene carries peace in a different form: sound, sight, touch, fragrance, yet all point to the same truth: earth is a sanctuary of calm. And when we notice, we too are carried into its stillness, reminded that beauty does not rush, and neither must we. The earth's calm gifts are endless, each one arriving like a soft note in an eternal melody. They are not loud nor hurried, yet they reach us with a depth that lingers long after we notice them. In continuing our journey, let us lean into more of these gentle wonders, the quiet patterns and rhythms that bring peace simply by existing. Let us begin with the soothing sound of wind moving through pine forests. Pines, with their long needles, create a distinct whisper when breezes pass through them. Unlike the rustle of broad leaves, this sound is soft and steady, almost like the ocean's hush. Travelers often describe it as nature's own lullaby, a voice that calms as it flows over ridges and valleys. To lie on a forest floor, looking up through tall trunks swaying gently, hearing that soft rushing sound, is to feel wrapped in earth's breathing. The wind through pines has comforted countless generations, steady and unchanging, a sound both ancient and eternal. From forests, let us drift to the calm of rice fields during the rainy season. In many parts of Asia, when rains come, paddies fill with water that reflects the sky like mirrors. The green shoots rise steadily from these pools, shimmering in sunlight or moonlight alike. Frogs croak softly, dragonflies dart above the water, and the entire field becomes a living, breathing system of balance. Farmers walk slowly along narrow ridges, their movements unhurried, in rhythm with the land. To stand in such a field at dusk, hearing the gentle chorus of frogs and insects, is to witness calm woven into daily life, where human effort and earth's patience join in harmony. Another relaxing wonder is found in caves adorned with glowworms. In places like New Zealand, these tiny creatures light up cavern ceilings with soft blue-green glows, creating the illusion of a starlit night underground. The stillness of the cave, combined with the quiet shimmer above, transforms the darkness into a sanctuary of peace. To drift in a small boat beneath such lights is to feel as though one has entered another world, where stars have descended to rest in silence. Glowworms remind us that beauty is not confined to the sky, it blooms even in hidden, quiet places. Now let us wander to alpine meadows in summer. These highland fields burst with wildflowers when the snow melts, painting hillsides with purples, yellows, and whites. The air is crisp and cool, filled with the buzz of bees and the distant sound of streams. Grazing animals move slowly through the fields, each step unhurried. To lie in such a meadow, watching clouds drift against mountain peaks, is to feel deeply connected to the earth's pulse. Alpine meadows are short-lived, appearing only during warm months, yet they remind us that beauty need not be permanent to bring peace. Earth also soothes us through the dance of fireflies. On warm nights, these tiny insects light up fields and forests with blinking signals, each flash a communication, yet together creating an atmosphere of magic. To walk among fireflies is to feel as though stars have scattered onto the grass, twinkling all around. The rhythm of their lights is uncoordinated, yet strangely harmonious, a natural performance that requires no stage. For centuries, people have watched fireflies and felt comforted, their small, glowing bodies turning ordinary nights into wonders of calm and quiet joy. Consider too the serenity of mountain valleys filled with morning mist. As dawn arrives, cool air traps vapor in low-lying areas, creating seas of white that flow gently between peaks. From above, mountains rise like islands in an ocean of mist, a sight that brings stillness to anyone who beholds it. To walk through such a valley is to move within clouds, every step softened by fog, every sound hushed. Misty mornings remind us that the world can shift into dreamlike states without effort, wrapping the land in gentleness before lifting into the day's clarity. Another soothing marvel lies in the quiet movement of jellyfish in the ocean. These creatures drift with currents, their bodies pulsing gently, glowing in shades of pink, purple, or blue. To watch them is to witness grace in its purest form. No struggle, only flow. Aquariums often feature jellyfish displays for this reason, their movements calming viewers into meditative states. In the wild, to float among them, safely in non-stinging species, is to feel time dissolve, the ocean itself breathing through their translucent forms. Jellyfish embody the art of moving with the world rather than against it. From seas, let us return to land, to hills covered in lavender at sunset. The light turns fields golden and purple at once, while the fragrance rises stronger in the cooling air. Bees return home, the wind settles, and the fields sway gently under the fading light. To walk here at such an hour is to feel time slow to its gentlest rhythm, where every sense is soothed, sight by color, smell by fragrance, sound by stillness. These moments remind us that the earth not only sustains but embraces us, offering calm in ways that reach deeper than thought. Earth also gives us peace through rainbows that appear in mountain waterfalls. When sunlight strikes mist, arcs of color shimmer in the falling water, fleeting and fragile. To see one is to catch magic in motion, a union of light, water, and air. Such moments cannot be forced, they appear only when conditions align. And that is their gift. They teach us that beauty often arrives unplanned, a reminder to remain open to wonder at any time. Standing near a waterfall, hearing its steady roar while watching colors glimmer in its spray, is to be surrounded by strength and gentleness at once. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the serenity of grassy hills rolling into the horizon. These landscapes, neither mountainous nor flat, rise and fall in soft waves, covered in green or gold depending on season. The view stretches without end, the sky vast above. To walk such hills is to move with the earth's gentle rhythm, to climb and descend as though following the planet's breath. Unlike jagged peaks, these hills offer ease. Unlike plains, they offer variety. Their balance is soothing, their openness grounding. Rolling hills remind us that peace is not found only in extremes, but often in the middle ground where balance thrives. As this chapter closes, we have wandered with pine whispers, rain-fed fields, glowing caves, alpine meadows, firefly nights, misty valleys, drifting jellyfish, lavender sunsets, rainbowed waterfalls, and rolling hills. Each of these is Earth's way of saying, calm is already here waiting. When we pause to notice, the world unfolds not in chaos, but in harmony, inviting us to rest in its care. As our journey deepens, we continue to uncover Earth's countless ways of soothing the soul. The planet offers calm not just in extraordinary spectacles but also in the smallest rhythms, the quietest shifts, the softest lights. Each one is like a note in a never-ending song, carrying us toward rest if only we pause to listen. Let us begin with the calm of tide pools at low tide. These shallow pools, left behind by the retreating sea, hold miniature worlds within them. Tiny crabs, sea anemones, starfish, and shells all living together in balance. The water is still, clear, and alive with detail for anyone who leans close. To sit beside a tide pool is to witness the ocean in miniature, a pocket of calm framed by stone. Each ripple, each small movement, reminds us that even within the vastness of the sea, peace can exist in the smallest corners. From the sea, let us step into the serenity of bamboo groves. Tall, slender stalks rise close together, their green leaves whispering as the wind moves through them. When breezes stir, bamboo clatters softly, creating music unique to these groves. To walk a path between them is to feel enclosed in a living sanctuary, where sound and sight combine into meditative calm. In many cultures, bamboo symbolizes strength and flexibility, but in its presence, what one feels most is peace. The grove becomes a world apart, where the heart beats slower and the mind quiets. Another soothing wonder lies in the slow drifting of clouds across the sky. Clouds, ever shifting, paint the heavens with patterns both fleeting and timeless. To lie on the grass and watch them move is to practice one of humanity's oldest forms of meditation. Shapes appear, change, and vanish, reminding us of life's impermanence, yet also of its softness. High, wispy cirrus clouds or thick, glowing cumulus, all bring their own kind of calm. The sky itself becomes a canvas of peace, written fresh each day. Consider also the serenity of sunflower fields. These tall, golden flowers turn their faces toward the sun, moving gently with its path. To walk among them is to be surrounded by light embodied in petals, each flower a small sun itself. The sight of endless rows of yellow, swaying with breezes, is uplifting and soothing at once. Sunflowers, with their steady following of light, remind us to seek warmth and growth calmly, always facing toward what sustains us. From fields, let us wander back to the water, to lakes covered in water lilies. These floating plants spread green leaves across still waters, their blossoms rising delicately in white, pink, or purple. Frogs rest on the pads, dragonflies skim the surface, and the water reflects it all in quiet perfection. To drift in a boat across such a lake, or simply to sit at its edge, is to feel surrounded by harmony. Water lilies have long symbolized purity and peace, and in their presence the heart naturally feels lighter. Earth also brings calm in winter through icicles glistening in sunlight. Formed drop by drop, they hang from branches, roofs, and rocks, each one a transparent sculpture shaped by time and cold. When the sun strikes them, they sparkle like jewels, glowing in hues of gold and blue. Occasionally they drip, adding a soft rhythm to the silence of winter. Icicles remind us that beauty can grow from stillness, and that even in the coldest times, light finds ways to shine. Another relaxing wonder lies in open prairies filled with tall grasses. When wind moves across them, waves ripple like the sea, endless and rhythmic. The sound is soft, a whisper carried by thousands of blades moving together. To walk through such a prairie is to feel part of the wind itself, each step blending into the land's wide openness. With no walls, no barriers, only horizon and sky, the spirit feels expanded, unbound. Prairies are reminders that peace sometimes lies in space itself, the freedom of wide landscapes where nothing presses close. From land, let us look once more to the sky, this time to the gentle arcs of the moon. Whether crescent, half, or full, the moon's glow brings calm to night. Its silver light softens shadows, reflecting across oceans, rivers, and snow. To stand beneath the moon is to feel connected to all life that has ever looked up, to countless generations who have found peace in its glow. The moon does not hurry, it moves in cycles steady and eternal, teaching us that balance lies not in rushing forward, but in returning again and again to center. Now let us wander into orchards heavy with fruit in late summer. Branches bow under the weight of apples, pears, or peaches, their colors rich and inviting. The air is filled with fragrance, the ground scattered with fallen fruit sweetening in the sun. To walk through such an orchard is to feel abundance made gentle, a wealth that nourishes without noise. Picking fruit, tasting its juice, resting beneath a laden branch, these are acts that ground us in earth's kindness, offering both food and peace. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the calm of waves lapping on pebble beaches. Unlike sandy shores, these beaches sing when waves retreat, the stones rolling softly together, creating a delicate music. Each wave brings a new note, each retreat a soft rattle, endless variations of the same soothing song. To sit on such a shore, listening to water and stone converse, is to feel time dissolve. Pebble beaches remind us that the earth's music is not confined to birds or winds. Even rocks, shaped and smoothed by patience, join the chorus of calm. As this part closes, we have explored tide pools, bamboo groves, drifting clouds, sunflower fields, water lily lakes, winter icicles, prairie winds, moonlit nights, fruit orchards, and pebble shores. Each scene offers its own kind of stillness, some in sound, some in sight, some in rhythm, some in fragrance. Together they form a reminder: the earth does not rush to give us peace. It offers it constantly, quietly, for those who take the time to see. The calmness of earth is not a single moment, but a continuous stream of gifts flowing across landscapes, skies, and oceans. As we continue our journey, We find that peace appears in unexpected places, often where life moves slowest, or where silence has its own voice. To notice these moments is to join in the planet's rhythm, one that invites stillness even in the midst of motion. Let us begin with the gentle drift of autumn leaves. When trees release their foliage, the air fills with flashes of gold, amber, and crimson, each leaf spinning slowly toward the ground. The sight is soothing not only for its beauty but for its rhythm, a surrender that is unhurried, graceful, and inevitable. To walk through a forest during this time is to step into a rain of colors, every gust of wind scattering nature's confetti. The ground softens with layers of leaves, muffling footsteps, turning the forest floor into a tapestry of warmth. Autumn leaves remind us that letting go can be peaceful, that change itself carries a quiet grace. From forests, let us wander to quiet salt flats. These vast, flat landscapes, like those in Bolivia, stretch endlessly, reflecting the sky in ways that dissolve the horizon. Standing in such a place, one cannot tell where earth ends and the heavens begin. The two merge into infinity. The silence is profound, the stillness almost otherworldly. Salt flats are formed over millennia from evaporated lakes, their surfaces gleaming white under the sun. To walk across them is to feel both grounded and unbound, a paradox of peace where the earth feels limitless and eternal. Another calming wonder lies in the drifting of dandelion seeds. When these tiny white spheres release their seeds to the wind, each one floats gently, carried lightly through the air. Children chase them, adults pause to watch, and the world seems softer for those few moments. The dandelion's gift is simple yet profound. It shows us that even endings can be delicate, that life moves on with ease, carried forward by invisible hands. Watching seeds float away is like watching thoughts drift from the mind. A release, a cleansing, a reminder of impermanence. Now let us step into Earth's gentle hot springs. Heated by the planet's own geothermal energy, these pools release steam into cool air, their waters soothing to body and spirit alike. Cultures worldwide have long cherished them, not just for their healing properties but for the peace they offer. To soak in warm water while surrounded by snowy peaks or forested hillsides is to feel held by the earth itself, comforted by its warmth. Hot springs remind us that beneath even the coldest landscapes, there is a quiet fire that offers rest and renewal. From warmth, let us move to stillness, the stillness of frozen lakes in winter. When water solidifies into ice, its motion pauses, yet its beauty deepens. Snow may cover its surface, or clear ice may reveal patterns of bubbles and cracks beneath. The world around such lakes is hushed, their silence so complete it seems to echo. Skaters glide across them or animals leave delicate tracks, but mostly frozen lakes stand as sanctuaries of stillness. To sit by one is to listen to silence itself, broken only by the occasional groan of shifting ice, a deep, resonant sound that feels like the earth breathing in winter. Another calming marvel lies in fields of heather on moors and hillsides. These hardy plants bloom in shades of purple, pink, and white, spreading across landscapes like soft carpets. When the wind moves through them, waves of color ripple gently, and the air fills with subtle fragrance. To walk among heather fields, especially at sunset, is to feel part of a world painted softly, where nothing is rushed and everything glows with gentle persistence. Heather thrives where conditions seem harsh, reminding us that beauty often blooms in resilience, quietly but steadily. From hillsides, let us turn to the coast again, to the hush of sea caves filled with glowing plankton. In some places, the waters within these caves sparkle when disturbed, glowing with bioluminescence. Each paddle stroke or wave sends ripples of blue-green light across the darkness, as though the sea itself were breathing stars. To sit quietly in such a cave, the air cool, the water glowing softly, is to feel surrounded by magic that requires no effort. This glow is life itself, microscopic organisms lighting the darkness, offering peace in the most unexpected places. Consider also the calm of grassy savannas at dusk. As the sun lowers, golden light stretches across wide plains, animals moving slowly as they settle for the night. The air cools, the grasses sway, and the horizon seems endless. Birds call softly, and distant herds graze in unhurried rhythm. To stand in such a place is to feel the vastness of earth without fear, to see openness not as emptiness but as space for peace. The savanna at dusk is a painting of quiet balance, where predator and prey alike pause in harmony beneath the fading sky. Another soothing wonder appears in frost-covered spiderwebs. On cold mornings, dew freezes into tiny crystals along silk threads, turning fragile webs into sparkling lace. The sun's light catches them, and what was once invisible becomes dazzling. Yet this beauty lasts only briefly, melting as the day warms. Frosted webs remind us that some of Earth's most calming sights are fleeting, meant to be seen only by those awake and present in the right moment. Their fragility is their strength, teaching us to value what cannot be held forever. And finally, for this part, let us pause with Earth's gentle rivers at night, when moonlight glides across their surfaces. The water reflects silver light, rippling softly, carrying the glow downstream. Frogs call from the banks, owls move silently overhead, and the air fills with cool night scents. To sit beside a river at night is to enter a world where the familiar becomes dreamlike, softened by shadow and glow. Moonlit rivers remind us that beauty changes with light, and that even the same place can offer peace in endless ways depending on the hour. As this part closes, we have drifted with autumn leaves, crossed salt flats, followed dandelion seeds, soaked in hot springs, rested beside frozen lakes, wandered through heather fields, floated in glowing sea caves, walked savannas at dusk, admired frosted webs, and watched rivers shimmer under moonlight. Each of these is Earth's gift of calm, showing us that peace is not rare but abundant, woven through every season, every place, every hour. As our path of discovery winds further, it becomes clear that Earth's peaceful wonders are never-ending. They appear in motion and stillness, in sound and silence, in warmth and cold alike. Each scene is like a gentle reminder that we live within a world designed not only for survival but also for rest, beauty, and renewal. Let us begin with the hush of snowy mountaintops. High above valleys and forests, peaks rise into quiet skies, their crowns covered in eternal snow. The air is thin, the wind soft, and sound carries differently, distant, muffled, almost sacred. To stand on a ridge and look across ranges fading into blue haze is to feel time stretch into eternity. These mountains hold silence that seems alive, a silence that reminds us of our smallness but also of our belonging. Snowy summits are Earth's quiet temples, where peace is not asked for but simply found. From peaks, let us descend to the comfort of grassy riverbanks. Rivers that curve through lowlands are often lined with soft grass, wildflowers, and trees that bend toward the water. Sitting on such a bank, one hears the gentle splash of fish, the murmur of current, and the occasional call of birds. The grass cushions the body, while the river carries thoughts away like fallen leaves. These banks have long been gathering places for people, but even alone, one feels accompanied by the quiet companionship of flowing water. Another soothing wonder appears in fields of snowdrops at the end of winter. These delicate white flowers are among the first to bloom when the frost begins to retreat, their heads bowing humbly toward the ground. They appear in clusters, carpeting woodlands with soft brightness. To stumble upon them is to find hope woven into the earth itself, a gentle promise that warmth will return. Their simplicity is calming, their timing reassuring, their beauty quiet yet powerful. Snowdrops remind us that resilience can look like softness, and that peace can be born even from the coldest seasons. From flowers, let us move to the calm of desert oases. Hidden among dunes, oases offer pools of water surrounded by palms, reeds, and sometimes small villages. The air here feels cooler, the ground softer, the sound of trickling springs soothing to the ear. For travelers crossing harsh sands, an oasis is more than survival. It is peace embodied in shade, water, and rest. To sit beneath a palm at such a place, listening to wind stir the leaves, is to feel the contrast of stillness against struggle, a reminder that even the most difficult landscapes carry hidden calm. Earth also soothes through the glow of auroras across polar skies. Curtains of green, pink, and violet ripple silently above snow and ice, as though the heavens themselves were breathing light. These auroras are born from solar winds meeting Earth's atmosphere, yet their scientific cause does nothing to lessen their magic. To stand beneath them is to feel awe and tranquility at once, to watch the sky turn into a dance of colors that shimmer in silence. The aurora is a gift of calm so powerful it quiets even the busiest mind, reminding us that the universe itself contains peace. Another calming marvel lies in reed beds along lakes and rivers. These tall, slender plants sway in the wind, their hollow stalks producing soft, rustling sounds. Birds nest among them, fish shelter at their roots, and insects hum above their surface. To sit beside a reed bed in summer is to hear nature's orchestra at its gentlest. The winds whisper, the reeds song, the calls of hidden life. Reed beds are places of balance, between land and water, silence and sound, motion and stillness. Their presence is proof that peace often comes where boundaries meet. From reeds, let us wander into caves filled with crystals. Some caverns hold formations of quartz, calcite, or even giant gypsum crystals that shimmer in faint light. To step into such a cave is to enter a cathedral of stone, its silence broken only by droplets of water. The crystals reflect light in calming glimmers, creating an atmosphere of wonder without noise. These hidden chambers, formed over ages, remind us that beauty can grow unseen, waiting patiently in the dark until someone pauses to notice. Earth also calms us through orchards of olive trees. Ancient and twisted, their trunks hold centuries of history, while their leaves shimmer silver in sunlight. To walk through such an orchard is to feel time slow, each tree standing as a patient elder. In Mediterranean landscapes, olive groves stretch across hillsides, their fragrance subtle, their shade inviting. Sitting beneath one feels both protected and grounded, part of a rhythm that has nourished people for thousands of years. Olive trees teach us that endurance itself can be peaceful, that wisdom grows slowly, quietly in rooted strength. Consider also the peace of still desert nights when the sand radiates back the heat of the day. The dunes glow faintly in moonlight, the air cool, the silence immense. Occasionally a breeze moves across the surface, reshaping tiny ridges of sand, whispering softly as it goes. Stars blaze overhead, clearer than in almost any other place. To sit on a dune in such stillness is to feel both solitude and companionship. Solitude in vastness, companionship in belonging to the planet's eternal rhythm. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the serenity of wildflower meadows after rain. When storms pass, sunlight returns to fields thick with daisies, buttercups, and grasses sparkling with droplets. The air feels fresh, alive with fragrance, while bees and butterflies resume their slow flights. Each raindrop on a petal acts like a tiny prism, reflecting light into soft glimmers. To walk barefoot through such a meadow, the ground damp and cool, is to be wrapped in nature's embrace. Rain-washed meadows are proof that renewal follows every storm, that peace is not destroyed by difficulty but revealed after it. As this part ends, we have stood on snowy peaks, rested on grassy banks, discovered snowdrops, wandered into oases, gazed at auroras, listened to reeds, entered crystal caves, walked among olive trees, felt desert nights, and touched rain-washed meadows. Each is a reminder that the earth speaks in countless voices of calm, in light, in silence, in movement, in rest. And each one tells us the same truth: peace is never far away, for it is written into the planet itself. The earth never ceases to reveal its gentler side. In every corner, from mountains to seas, from deserts to meadows, there are places where calm seems to flow like water, steady, patient, unending. These places do not compete for attention. They simply exist, offering peace to those who stop to notice. Let us walk into more of these gifts, uncovering the ways in which our planet soothes us without words. Let us begin with the calm of river deltas. Where great rivers meet the sea, their waters fan out into countless channels, weaving through wetlands, forests, and marshes. The movement here is slow, unhurried, spreading life across vast plains. Birds wheel overhead, fish thrive in hidden shallows, and grasses wave in tides that ebb and return. To drift in a small boat through a delta is to feel carried by Earth's balance, where land and water merge gently, and abundance arises from patience. Deltas remind us that endings and beginnings can look the same: the river ending, the sea beginning, and peace existing in both. From deltas, let us turn to lavender-colored twilight skies. After sunset, the world often glows in shades of violet and indigo, the light soft and delicate. This time, known as the blue hour, is beloved by artists and travelers alike for its serenity. Birds settle, the wind eases, and the land seems to hold its breath. To walk during twilight is to enter a dreamlike state, neither day nor night, where colors are gentle and shadows long. Twilight is Earth's natural pause, a moment of transition that soothes the spirit. Another calming wonder is the drift of floating icebergs. Though born of glaciers and marked by power, icebergs often move with slow grace, carried by ocean currents. Their surfaces glow in shades of blue and white, their reflections shimmering in still waters. To watch an iceberg float silently across the sea is to witness strength softened by stillness, vastness moving without noise. They remind us that even the mightiest creations of nature can move with gentleness, teaching us that strength and peace are not opposites but companions. Now let us wander to the quiet beauty of orchards filled with citrus trees. When blossoms bloom, the air fills with a fragrance both sweet and refreshing, delicate and uplifting. Later, branches grow heavy with bright fruits, oranges, lemons, limes, glowing like lanterns against green leaves. To walk through such groves is to feel surrounded by life's abundance, with fragrance calming the mind and colors soothing the eyes. Citrus orchards embody harmony between nourishment and beauty, teaching us that peace often comes in the union of usefulness and grace. Earth also offers calm in the soft patterns of desert sand dunes. Though they may seem harsh, dunes are shaped into waves by wind, their ridges curving like brushstrokes across the land. At sunrise or sunset, their colors shift through gold, pink and violet, shadows stretching long and graceful. To climb a dune and sit upon its crest, watching the wind reshape its surface grain by grain, is to feel both the permanence and impermanence of beauty. The desert teaches us that even the simplest materials, sand and wind, can create peace when time is allowed to flow. Another soothing marvel lies in the ripples of barley and wheat fields before harvest. Golden heads bend together in wind, swaying in rhythms that resemble the movement of the sea. The sound of rustling stalks, combined with skylarks singing above, is as calming as any ocean. Farmers for centuries have watched these fields with quiet gratitude, knowing they sustain life, yet also appreciating their beauty. To stand in such a field at dusk, golden waves stretching endlessly, is to feel grounded in Earth's cycles, the peace of provision blending with the peace of beauty. From plains, let us look to the sea once more, this time at calm coves where water laps gently on sand and stone. Protected from strong waves, these inlets create havens of stillness, where shells gather, crabs scuttle and tide pools shine. To sit by a cove is to hear the ocean at rest, its voice reduced to a soft murmur. Such places remind us that even great forces rest, that even the ocean, so vast and restless, holds sanctuaries of quiet. Earth also brings peace through mountain air scented with pine and wild herbs. In alpine meadows, the breeze carries fragrances both sharp and sweet, refreshing the body and clearing the mind. Travelers climbing steep paths often pause not just to breathe, but to notice the scents that surround them, the earth itself offering comfort with every inhalation. Scientists say these scents can lower stress, but beyond that, they remind us of the planet's generosity, calming us in ways both subtle and profound. Consider also the serenity of desert blooms after rare rains. For months or years, deserts may lie bare, but when rain finally comes, flowers erupt in vibrant carpets of purple, yellow, and white. Entire landscapes transform almost overnight, barren plains becoming living tapestries. To witness such a bloom is to see patience rewarded, silence answered with song. Desert flowers remind us that beauty does not vanish when unseen. It waits quietly until the right moment to emerge. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the sound of waves breaking gently against coral reefs. Unlike stormy seas, these waves arrive softened, their energy spent on outer reefs, leaving inner waters calm. The result is a steady, soothing rhythm, the ocean breathing in whispers rather than roars. Fish dart among coral branches, sunlight dances across shallow sands, and the water's voice becomes a song of reassurance. Coral reefs remind us that protection can create peace, that strong barriers allow gentleness within. As this chapter closes, we have drifted through river deltas, twilight skies, floating icebergs, citrus orchards, desert dunes, golden fields, quiet coves, mountain breezes, desert blooms, and reef waters. Each one offers calm in its own way, through sound, sight, fragrance, or rhythm. And together they remind us that peace is not occasional, but constant, present in every season and every corner of the earth for those who take time to look. The calmness of Earth is a story without end. With every step into its landscapes, we find more reminders that peace is built into the planet's design. In waters that move slowly, in skies that glow softly, in patterns that repeat with patience. Let us wander further into these treasures, exploring more of the gentle marvels that soothe body, mind, and spirit. Let us begin with the serenity of willow trees by rivers. Their long, delicate branches bend toward the water, trailing gently on its surface. In the breeze, they sway with quiet grace, creating curtains of green that ripple in rhythm with the flow below. To sit beneath a willow, listening to leaves whisper and water murmur, is to feel hidden in a sanctuary of calm. For centuries, poets and painters have celebrated willows as symbols of peace, and standing beneath one, it is easy to understand why. From trees, let us step into the hush of caves where water has carved stone into arches and domes. Deep inside, stalagmites rise like pillars, stalactites hang like icicles, and pools reflect them in still perfection. The sound here is sparse, the drip of water, the echo of footsteps, the breath of cool air. Such caves remind us that the earth is always shaping itself, not in rushes but in drops, not in explosions but in patience. To rest in a cavern is to feel embraced by time itself, a calm so ancient that it silences even thought. Another soothing wonder lies in spring-fed ponds. Unlike rivers that rush or seas that roar, these pools are fed gently from underground, their waters pure and steady. Often they are clear enough to reveal stones, fish, and plants in perfect detail. The surface may ripple slightly with breezes, but otherwise remains mirror-like, reflecting trees and skies with quiet grace. To kneel beside such a pond, watching dragonflies dart and minnows flicker, is to feel as though one has stepped into a painting where movement exists but never disturbs the peace. Now let us move to the soft expanse of tundra in bloom. For much of the year, these lands appear barren, covered in snow and ice. But in the brief warmth of summer, carpets of moss, lichens, and tiny flowers spread across the ground. Purple saxifrage, Arctic poppies, and cotton grass create subtle, delicate beauty beneath endless skies. To walk here during bloom is to experience silence colored with life, a reminder that even the harshest places hold moments of gentleness. The tundra's flowers are fleeting, but their presence speaks of resilience and quiet joy. Earth also offers calm through the sound of bells carried by wind in rural landscapes. In some places, cattle or goats wear bells that chime softly as they graze. The effect, carried across valleys, is like a distant song, irregular yet soothing, blending with birds and breezes. To walk in such fields, hearing bells echo gently from hillsides, is to feel time stretch and soften. These sounds are unplanned, born of daily life, yet they carry a peace as deep as any symphony. Another calming marvel lies in caves of ice, where glaciers form hollow chambers that glow in shades of blue. Light filters through the ice, painting walls with colors so soft they feel unreal. Drips fall steadily, echoing in crystal halls, while air inside is cool and still. To enter such a place is to step into Earth's hidden art, where silence and light combine into peace. Ice caves remind us that beauty is not always loud or permanent. Sometimes it is fragile, fleeting, and more powerful for its impermanence. From icy caves, let us turn to the peace of grassy courtyards enclosed by stone walls. In old villages and monasteries, such courtyards were made as spaces for rest, filled with herbs, flowers, or simple fountains. Birds nest in crevices, vines climb the walls, and breezes carry the scent of lavender or rosemary. To sit here is to feel removed from the rush of the world, sheltered yet open, surrounded by life at its gentlest. Courtyards are reminders that calm can be created as well as found, that humans too, can build spaces that echo the peace of earth. Consider also the serenity of autumn fog over fields. At dawn, mist drapes the land, softening lines, muting colors, and turning every sound into a whisper. Trees emerge like shadows, fences fade into gray, and the world feels both mysterious and calm. As the sun rises, the fog lifts slowly, revealing the land beneath as though waking from a dream. To walk through fog is to step into a story, each step softened, each breath cooled. Fog reminds us that clarity is not always necessary. Sometimes peace lies in softness and mystery. Another soothing wonder appears in coral atolls, rings of islands surrounding lagoons. These formations, built by coral over centuries, enclose waters so calm they reflect the sky with perfect stillness. Palm trees line the edges, seabirds circle overhead, and the lagoon itself glows turquoise, untouched by waves. To float in such a lagoon is to feel the world's tensions dissolve, as though one has entered a sanctuary designed for rest. Atolls remind us that even in the vast ocean, gentleness thrives where balance is allowed. And finally, for this part, let us pause with a piece of hillside vineyards in late summer. Rows of vines stretch neatly across slopes, heavy with ripening grapes. The air is filled with earthy fragrance, the hum of insects, the warmth of the sun softened by breezes. To walk through such vineyards is to feel order blending with nature, human care merging with earth's rhythms. Harvest approaches, yet the mood is unhurried, the vines patient in their ripening. Vineyards remind us that abundance grows not in haste but in steady, measured time. As this chapter closes, we have sat beneath willows, entered stone caves, watched spring-fed ponds, walked tundra blooms, listened to grazing bells, entered ice caverns, rested in courtyards, wandered through fog, floated in atolls, and strolled through vineyards. Each scene holds its own kind of calm, yet together they form a truth. Peace is endless, varied, and present everywhere the earth touches us. The further we walk into Earth's quiet offerings, the more we realize how vast its vocabulary of peace truly is. From forests to deserts, seas to mountains, the planet speaks in countless tones of calm, each one different, yet all carrying the same message: rest, breathe, belong. Let us continue our gentle journey, discovering more of the wonders that soothe simply by being. Let us begin with the peace of grassy terraces and mountain villages. Built by generations of farmers, these steps climb hillsides like green stairways, each filled with rice, wheat, or maize depending on the season. When flooded, the terraces mirror the sky. When ripe, they glow golden beneath the sun. Walking along their edges, one hears only wind, water trickling through channels, and the quiet rustle of plants. These terraces are human creations, yet they harmonize so well with the land that they feel like Earth's own design. They remind us that when human effort follows nature's rhythm, the result is balance rather than disruption. From cultivated slopes, let us drift to the hush of winter forests at night. The snow reflects moonlight, the trees stand like dark sentinels, and every sound is magnified: the crack of ice, the hoot of an owl, the soft crunch of a deer's steps. To walk here is to move through a cathedral of stillness, where the air itself seems to listen. Winter forests carry a special calm, one born of endurance and rest. They remind us that even in dormancy, life is present, waiting patiently for warmth to return. Another soothing wonder lies in the play of sunlight through stained glass canyons. In places where red rock narrows into winding paths, beams of light fall in shafts that glow golden or crimson, painting the walls like art. Dust motes shimmer in the rays, and the silence amplifies every small sound. To stand within such a canyon is to feel wrapped in living color, a place both powerful and peaceful. These formations, sculpted by water over millennia, teach us that beauty often comes from persistence, and that light itself can be a source of calm. Now let us wander into grassy wetlands where reeds and lilies grow thick. Frogs croak in chorus, insects hum, and herons stalk silently through the shallows. The water reflects shifting skies, while breezes ripple its surface with gentle movement. Wetlands may seem chaotic at first, but in truth they are places of perfect rhythm. sound and motion blending into harmony. To sit on their edges at dusk, listening to life all around, is to feel immersed in an orchestra that is both lively and soothing. Wetlands remind us that peace is not the absence of life but its balance. Earth also calms us through drifting flocks of sheep across hillsides. The animals move slowly, bells chiming softly if worn, their wool glowing in sunlight. Shepherds guide them with quiet calls, and the landscape fills with a sense of timelessness. For thousands of years, such scenes have played out across valleys and meadows, unchanged in essence. To watch sheep grazing is to see contentment embodied, life unhurried, rhythm steady. Hillsides dotted with flocks remind us that simplicity often carries the deepest calm. Another calming marvel lies in coral gardens beneath shallow seas. Unlike towering reefs, these gardens are close to shore, filled with colorful corals, starfish, and small fish moving gently through the water. Sunlight filters down in shifting beams, painting everything in hues of turquoise and gold. To swim here is to feel weightless in a world that asks nothing of you but quiet observation. The corals sway with currents, the fish glide without urgency, and the sea itself seems to hum with tranquility. From the sea, let us return to land, to cherry orchards after rain. Petals cling to wet branches, drops sparkle like jewels, and the air carries a fragrance both sweet and fresh. Birds shake water from their wings, bees return cautiously to blossoms, and the orchard glows softly beneath gray skies. To walk here is to feel part of renewal itself, the storms passing leaving behind not destruction but freshness. Orchards after rain remind us that calm often follows turbulence, and that beauty is often brightest when washed clean. Consider too the serenity of limestone cliffs rising above quiet bays. Their white or golden faces reflect sunlight onto the water, creating glimmers that dance across the waves. Gulls circle lazily, their cries softened by distance, and the sea laps steadily at the base of the cliffs. To sit in a boat beneath them, feeling small but safe, is to witness grandeur softened by gentleness. Cliffs remind us that strength need not be harsh. It can stand tall yet calm, powerful yet serene. Another soothing wonder appears in the rippling auroras reflected on frozen lakes. The sky above glows green and violet, while the ice below mirrors it, doubling the light into dreamlike landscapes. To stand here is to feel surrounded by color and silence, the world transformed into something otherworldly. The stillness of ice combined with the dance of light creates a balance that is rare and unforgettable. Such moments remind us that Earth does not simply contain peace. It creates it actively, weaving it into its most extraordinary displays. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the calm of lotus ponds at dawn. Before the sun rises fully, the flowers begin to open, their petals unfolding slowly in the cool air. Frogs croak softly, dragonflies hover, and mist drifts above the water. Each lotus seems to greet the day with patience, not rushing but blooming in its own rhythm. In many cultures, the lotus is a symbol of peace and enlightenment, and to sit beside a pond as these flowers awaken is to feel one's own spirit expand into calm. As this part closes, we have walked terraces, winter forests, stained glass canyons, wetlands, sheep-filled hills, coral gardens, rain-washed orchards, limestone cliffs, mirrored auroras, and lotus ponds. Each one reveals Earth's endless ability to comfort, to inspire, to remind us that peace is everywhere. The planet does not tire of offering calm. It gives it freely, woven into cycles, places, and moments that wait patiently for our attention. The more we listen, the more Earth reveals its quiet songs. In the hush of water, the rustle of leaves, the shimmer of light, and the slow turning of seasons. These are not rare gifts but constant presences, surrounding us always, waiting for us to notice. Peace is not something we must seek far away, it is already woven into the world. Let us continue walking gently into more of these treasures. Let us begin with the serenity of mountain plateaus at sunrise. High above valleys, these flat expanses catch the first light earlier than anywhere else, glowing golden while lowlands still rest in shadow. The air is thin, the silence deep, broken only by the call of birds waking with the dawn. To stand here is to feel lifted out of time, the sky wide, the land endless. Plateaus at sunrise remind us that stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness waiting to be seen. From heights, let us drift down to the peace of meadow streams. These narrow ribbons of water wind lazily through fields of grass and wildflowers, reflecting the sky in broken glimmers. Bees hover near blossoms, butterflies flutter across ripples, and the stream itself moves with patience. Its banks are soft, often cushioned with moss, where one can sit and dip toes into the cool current. To listen to a meadow stream is to hear the world hum in balance, a sound so subtle it feels like a secret meant only for those who pause. Another calming wonder lies in the glow of sandstone cliffs at sunset. As the sun lowers, the rock faces ignite in shades of orange, rose, and crimson, the light shifting slowly until night settles. The cliffs stand tall and silent, yet they hold warmth in their color, offering comfort rather than intimidation. To watch shadows climb their faces as stars begin to appear is to see time painted in light, a slow transformation that asks for nothing but presence. Now let us wander into quiet olive groves under moonlight. The silver leaves reflect the pale glow, and the gnarled trunks cast soft shadows across the earth. Owls move silently between branches, while the air carries a faint fragrance of earth and wood. To walk here at night is to step into timelessness, for many of these trees have stood for centuries, watching generations come and go. Olive groves under the moon remind us that wisdom and peace are often intertwined, that age brings not only strength but calm. Earth also soothes us with the gentle arcs of sandbars visible at low tide. These narrow stretches of sand emerge like pathways through the sea, sometimes connecting islands, sometimes curving alone across the water. Birds gather along their edges, waves lap quietly on both sides, and the view stretches in calm simplicity. To walk a sandbar, water on either side, sky above, is to feel balance between worlds, grounded yet floating. These forms remind us that peace often appears in transitions, where boundaries dissolve and unity emerges. Another soothing marvel lies in autumn orchards filled with the scent of ripened apples. The trees glow with red and gold fruit, their branches heavy, their leaves beginning to turn. The ground carries the fragrance of fallen apples softening in the sun, sweet and earthy. To walk through such orchards is to feel surrounded by abundance, a calm that comes not from silence but from completeness. Orchards in autumn remind us that fulfillment is not loud or hurried. It is gentle, steady, and nourishing. From orchards, let us move to the hush of alpine caves where ice never melts. Inside, the air is cool and still, the walls lined with frozen layers glowing faintly in filtered light. Drops fall occasionally, echoing softly, but otherwise the silence is near absolute. To sit here is to feel embraced by the earth's patience, as though time itself has slowed. Such caves remind us that calm can be found even in the coldest, most hidden places, where nothing moves quickly but everything endures. Consider also the serenity of lavender sunsets across wide plains. The horizon stretches unbroken, and as the sun sinks, the sky glows in shades of pink, violet, and soft orange. Grasses sway in the cooling breeze, insects hum gently, and the land feels endless. To watch such a sunset is to see the world breathe out, the day's energy releasing into calm. Plains at sunset remind us that openness itself is healing, that peace often comes in the absence of boundaries. Another calming wonder is found in seas of kelp beneath the ocean. These underwater forests sway with currents, their long fronds rising toward the surface in slow, graceful motion. Fish glide between them, seals play among the stalks, and sunlight filters down in shifting beams. To dive into such a place is to enter a world of weightless calm, where movement is slow, continuous, and harmonious. Kelp forests remind us that peace is not only on land but beneath the waves, waiting in realms few often see. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the comfort of rain falling on summer fields. When storms pass gently, drops patter on leaves, soak the soil, and glisten on stalks of wheat or grass. The air smells rich and alive, filled with petrichor and the sweetness of growth. To walk through such fields, hearing the steady rhythm of rain, is to feel part of renewal itself. Summer rain reminds us that even in warmth and brightness, pauses are needed, and that rest nourishes as much as action. As this part ends, we have stood on plateaus at sunrise, sat by meadow streams, watched sandstone cliffs glow, wandered moonlit groves, walked sandbars, breathed autumn orchards, entered frozen caves, seen lavender sunsets, drifted in kelp forests and listened to summer rains. Each one speaks the same truth. Earth's calm is endless, waiting in every corner, every hour, every season. The peace of Earth is inexhaustible, its expressions infinite. It appears in the smallest detail and the widest horizon, in moments of stillness and in gentle movement. Every landscape, every cycle, every hour has its own lullaby to offer. To notice these things is not just to see beauty but to feel part of a world that holds calm as naturally as it holds air and water. Let us keep walking deeper into this endless well of quiet wonder. Let us begin with the hush of snowy valleys at dawn. The first light spills gently across slopes, turning frost and snow into a glittering sea of silver. Sound carries far but softly, the call of a bird, the crack of ice, the whisper of wind. To stand in such a valley is to feel cradled by the mountains, the world fresh and untouched, as though time itself has paused. Snowy valleys at dawn remind us that beginnings need not be loud. They can arrive as whispers, carrying profound stillness. From valleys, let us turn to the gentle rhythm of desert winds. Across dunes and open plains, the wind reshapes sand endlessly, creating ripples and waves that shift with every hour. The sound is low and constant, a hum that soothes rather than disturbs. To sit atop a dune and listen is to hear the desert breathing, patient and unhurried. Desert winds remind us that even barren places hold life, not in abundance but in persistence, and their music is one of eternal calm. Another soothing marvel lies in mountain lakes reflecting starlight. High above towns and cities, these waters rest undisturbed, catching every star above and doubling the night sky. To sit beside one is to feel as though you are surrounded by the universe itself, infinity mirrored in silence. The water barely moves, the air is crisp, and the only sound is the occasional call of an owl or the distant fall of a stone. Such lakes remind us that peace exists where stillness and vastness meet. Now let us wander into orchards of almond blossoms in spring. These trees burst into pale pink and white, their petals filling the air like snowflakes. The fragrance is delicate, sweet yet faint, and bees hum steadily among the branches. To walk beneath them is to feel as though the earth has softened entirely, offering tenderness in both sight and scent. Almond orchards in bloom remind us that even the most ordinary trees can become miracles of peace when the season turns. Earth also offers calm in the steady flow of underground springs. Emerging from stone, these waters are often so clear that they reveal every pebble and fish below. Their temperature remains constant, their sound steady, their presence life-giving. To drink from such a spring is to taste the patience of the earth, water filtered for decades or centuries before arriving in the open. Springs remind us that what is hidden can nurture us, and that peace often comes from what works quietly beneath the surface. Another calming wonder appears in the glow of golden fields at harvest. When grain ripens, entire landscapes shimmer beneath the sun, the air filled with warmth and the hum of life. Farmers move slowly, reaping the reward of months of care, while the land radiates abundance. To stand in such a field, wind moving through stalks like waves, is to feel surrounded by fulfillment. Harvest fields remind us that peace often comes not just from beginnings but from completions, from cycles that reach their quiet, satisfying end. From fields, let us step into the hush of limestone caves filled with water. Pools lie still as mirrors, reflecting ceilings lined with stalactites. The air is cool, the sound nearly absent, broken only by the occasional drip. To drift in a boat or simply stand at the edge is to feel wrapped in timelessness, a calm so deep it seems beyond human scale. Water-filled caves remind us that peace can be hidden in the darkest places, waiting patiently to be found. Consider also the serenity of mountain passes covered in wildflowers. In summer, these high corridors bloom with colors: yellow buttercups, purple gentians, red poppies, glowing against stone and sky. The wind carries their fragrance, birds nest among rocks, and the view opens wide on both sides. To rest here is to feel part of a path walked by generations, a place where hardship meets beauty. Mountain passes in bloom remind us that even between difficulties, peace waits to be noticed. Another soothing marvel lies in tidal flats at sunset. When the sea retreats, wide expanses of sand and mud reflect the sky in shimmering pools. Birds gather in flocks, calling gently as they feed, while the air cools and stills. The land becomes a mosaic of light and water, constantly changing yet entirely calm. To walk across a tidal flat is to feel both movement and stillness at once, earth pausing before the tide returns. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the comfort of grassy hills after rain. When storms pass, the air smells sweet, the ground glistens, and the hills shine in shades of deep green. Sheep or cattle may graze quietly, their movements unhurried, while clouds drift slowly away. To walk such hills is to feel refreshed, renewed by the storm's cleansing. Hills after rain remind us that even disruption leads back to calm, and that renewal is always part of Earth's rhythm. As this part ends, we have walked snowy valleys, felt desert winds, watched starlit lakes, stood in almond orchards, sipped spring waters, entered golden fields, drifted through stone caves, crossed flowered passes, wandered tidal flats, and rested on rain-washed hills. Each one offers a different form of calm. Some in sound, some in silence, some in cycles, some in fleeting moments. Together, they remind us that peace is not a rarity but the planet's most constant gift. The Earth's gentle wonders stretch endlessly before us, each one a reminder that peace is woven into its every rhythm. These scenes are not only moments of beauty but also invitations to slow down, to notice, and to align ourselves with the planet's natural calm. As we move forward, let us keep exploring these soft gifts, each as soothing as the last. Let us begin with the calm of fjords at sunrise. These long, narrow inlets, carved by glaciers, are surrounded by towering cliffs that reflect light down onto still waters. In the early morning, mist often lingers, drifting slowly between peaks, while the sea glows softly with the rising sun. Boats glide silently, and the air carries only the cry of seabirds. To stand at the edge of a fjord is to feel embraced by stone and water together, a sanctuary of calm shaped by both strength and gentleness. From fjords, let us turn to grassy steppes stretching beneath endless skies. These vast plains, neither forest nor desert, move with the wind like oceans of green. Horses gallop freely, their movement blending with the rhythm of grasses swaying. To lie in such a place, looking upward at drifting clouds, is to feel infinite space above and around you. Steps remind us that openness itself can soothe, that peace sometimes comes not from shelter but from the freedom of wide horizons. Another soothing wonder lies in the drift of cherry blossoms along rivers. In spring, petals fall like gentle snow, floating downstream in soft currents. The sight is fleeting, lasting only days, but during that time rivers appear transformed into flowing ribbons of pink and white. To walk along their banks, watching petals swirl and settle, is to feel part of a moment so delicate it demands silence. Blossoms on water remind us that peace often resides in transience, in beauty that passes but leaves the spirit lighter. Now let us wander into the peace of grassy dunes along coasts. Unlike towering deserts, these dunes are covered in grasses that anchor them in place, their blades swaying in breezes from the sea. Birds nest among them, waves crash faintly in the distance, and the air is filled with salt and life. To walk barefoot across these dunes is to feel softness beneath and vastness beyond, a balance between land and ocean that soothes without effort. Earth also offers calm in the glow of mountain meadows filled with lupins. These tall purple flowers bloom in clusters, painting entire valleys with color. Bees hum steadily, butterflies drift, and breezes carry fragrance across the fields. The sight is both lively and still, abundance expressed in quiet harmony. To wander through such a meadow is to feel part of a living tapestry, each flower contributing to peace in a chorus of color. Another calming marvel lies in the slow drift of glaciers. Though immense, glaciers move quietly inch by inch, carving valleys and shaping mountains without noise. Their surfaces crack and groan occasionally, but otherwise their motion is steady, patient, unstoppable. To stand near one, hearing its deep hum, is to witness power at rest, strength expressed through calm persistence. Glaciers remind us that the most enduring changes are often the slowest, and that peace can exist even in movement. From icy heights, let us descend to warm savannas after rain. When storms pass, the land steams lightly, grasses gleam, and animals emerge slowly from shelter. The air smells rich, the soil darkened, the horizon glowing under softened light. Herds move unhurried across the plains, birds sing again, and life resumes with patience. Savannas after rain remind us that disruption is always temporary, and that calm is not destroyed by storms but renewed through them. Consider too the serenity of forest glades where sunlight filters through leaves. These clearings, surrounded by trees, often hold wildflowers or small pools, illuminated by beams of golden light. Birds gather here, animals pause to drink, and the silence is broken only by rustling branches. To sit in a glade is to feel the embrace of forest and sky together, the heart stilled by balance. Glades remind us that peace often hides in small openings, where shadow and light meet gently. Another soothing wonder is the calm of volcanic islands long after eruption. Once fiery, their slopes become covered with moss, ferns and forests, while waves lap gently at black sand shores. The air hums with life, the land fertile and green. To walk here is to feel the planet's power transformed into gentleness, destruction turned into renewal. These islands remind us that even upheaval can lead to peace, that endings are often beginnings waiting to unfold. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the quiet of frozen rivers in deep winter. Their surfaces lie smooth and still, sometimes snow-dusted, sometimes clear enough to show frozen currents beneath. Skaters may glide across them or animals leave prints, but otherwise the rivers rest, their voices hushed until spring. To stand beside one is to feel the weight of time slowed, motion held in perfect pause. Frozen rivers remind us that rest itself is part of life's cycle, and that silence has its own beauty. As this chapter closes, we have wandered through fjords, steppes, blossoming rivers, grassy dunes, lupin meadows, glaciers, rainy savannas, forest glades, volcanic islands and frozen rivers. Each one is a gentle reminder that Earth's calm is not rare or accidental. It is deliberate, constant, and waiting always to be seen. The Earth continues to unfold its peaceful wonders, each one unique yet carrying the same quiet invitation: to slow down, to notice, to rest. No matter where we look, mountains, seas, forests, or skies, the planet reveals new ways of showing us calm. Each landscape and cycle seems to whisper the same message: peace is already here, written into the very fabric of the world. Let us begin with the calm of hidden mountain springs. Tucked between rocks or forests, these small pools bubble gently with crystal clear water. Their sound is a soft trickle, a steady murmur that soothes the ear. The water, cool and fresh, often feeds streams that carry life to valleys below. To pause by such a spring, dipping your hands into its flow, is to touch the patience of Earth itself, water filtered drop by drop through stone for decades before reaching the surface. Springs remind us that peace is often built slowly, yet when it arrives, it refreshes completely. From springs, let us wander to the hush of sand deserts under moonlight. By day, these places seem harsh and endless, but when night falls and the moon rises, dunes glow softly in silver light. The air cools, the stars blaze with clarity, and the land feels dreamlike, vast yet gentle. To sit upon a dune at night, hearing only the faint breath of wind, is to feel alone yet deeply connected to the universe. Desert nights remind us that even emptiness holds calm, that silence itself can be a companion. Another soothing marvel lies in the gentle drift of lily-covered ponds. Wide leaves float across still waters, blossoms opening in white, pink, or yellow, their fragrance delicate and sweet. Frogs croak from their surfaces, dragonflies dart above, and ripples move only when a breeze passes. To sit beside such a pond is to witness perfect balance. Life abundant, yet still, motion present, yet calm. Lily ponds remind us that peace is not the absence of life but its harmony. Now let us turn to autumn forests glowing with color. Hillsides blaze with red, gold, and orange, each tree contributing to a vast tapestry of light. Leaves drift gently to the ground, crunching softly underfoot. The air smells of earth and wood, crisp and clean. To walk in such a forest is to feel immersed in warmth even as the year cools. Autumn reminds us that endings can be beautiful, that change itself can be calming when accepted as part of life's flow. Earth also offers calm in the slow sweep of tidal marshes. Twice a day the sea moves in and out, flooding the land and retreating again. Grasses bend with the water, fish glide through channels, and birds call across the expanse. The rhythm is ancient, steady, eternal. To watch the tide fill and empty a marsh is to see earth breathing in water, a calm cycle that continues without end. Marshes remind us that peace often lies in rhythm, in the predictability of returning patterns. Another calming wonder appears in fields of tulips in spring. Rows of red, yellow, purple, and white stretch across the land, their colors bright but harmonious. The air carries a faint sweetness, the ground is soft, and the sight seems endless. To walk among tulips is to feel surrounded by joy expressed in quiet order. Tulip fields remind us that beauty can be both vibrant and calming, and that even brightness, when balanced, can soothe. From fields, let us move to the stillness of mountain tarns, small lakes left by glaciers. These pools often rest high above the tree line, clear and still, reflecting peaks in sharp detail. No waves disturb their surfaces except the smallest ripples of wind. To sit beside a tarn is to feel cradled between stone and sky, suspended in a calm that feels eternal. Tarns remind us that even the smallest places can hold vast peace, and that stillness magnifies beauty. Consider too the serenity of lavender-scented breezes in summer evenings. As the sun lowers, the air cools, and the fragrance of blossoms rises stronger, carried gently by the wind. Bees settle, birds quiet, and the world softens into twilight. To walk through lavender fields at this time is to feel embraced not just by sight and sound but by scent, a calm that enters deeply with every breath. Lavender breezes remind us that peace can be carried invisibly, entering the soul without words. Another soothing marvel lies in the slow drift of ice floes in polar seas. These great sheets of ice move silently, sometimes colliding with soft groans, sometimes glowing blue in sunlight. Seals rest upon them, birds circle overhead, and the water between them ripples gently. To watch them float is to see strength in stillness, motion without urgency. Ice floes remind us that peace is possible even in the coldest, most remote places, where life endures without rush. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the hush of monasteries perched on hillsides. Built in quiet places far from cities, these stone sanctuaries overlook valleys and rivers, surrounded by forests or fields. Bells ring softly, chants drift faintly, but otherwise the silence is profound. To stand here is to feel both human effort and natural peace joined together. Monasteries remind us that calm can be cultivated, that people too can shape the world into harmony with Earth's quiet rhythms. As this part closes, we have paused at mountain springs, wandered moonlit deserts, rested by lily ponds, walked autumn forests, watched tidal marshes, entered tulip fields, sat by tarns, breathed lavender winds, watched drifting flows, and stood by hillside monasteries. Each one speaks of calm in a different way, yet all lead to the same truth. Peace surrounds us always, patient and abundant, waiting for our presence. Every step deeper into the earth's quiet beauty reminds us that calm is not rare but constant, always nearby, always ready to be felt. The planet holds peace in so many forms that to list them is endless, yet each new discovery feels like opening a window to another breath of serenity. Let us continue gently through more of these soothing gifts. Let us begin with the peace of bamboo forests swaying in the breeze. Tall stalks rise close together, their leaves rustling like soft rain when the wind passes. Sunlight filters in slivers, painting the ground in shifting patterns. To walk among bamboo is to hear a symphony of whispers, each stalk bending but never breaking, their strength in their flexibility. Bamboo forests remind us that resilience can be quiet, and that peace often comes from bending rather than resisting. From bamboo, let us drift to the hush of morning fog over farmlands. Fields vanish into gray, barns and fences emerge faintly, and dew clings to every blade of grass. Birds call in muffled tones, and the world feels softer, dreamlike, suspended between waking and sleep. To walk in such fog is to feel cocooned by earth itself, the boundaries blurred, the pace slowed. Morning fog reminds us that peace sometimes lies in not seeing clearly, in letting the world remain gentle and undefined for a while. Another soothing wonder lies in the rhythm of waves and hidden coves. Unlike open shores, coves are protected by cliffs or rocks, and the sea enters softly, washing in with gentle pulses. The sound is steady, the air filled with salt, the rocks damp with spray. To sit here is to hear the ocean's heartbeat slowed, strength softened by shelter. Hidden coves remind us that even the most powerful forces can become gentle when embraced. Now let us wander into the glow of sunflower fields under midday sun. Acres of golden heads turn together, following the light in unison, creating a sea of brightness. The air hums with bees, the ground radiates warmth, and the sight is both vibrant and soothing. To walk among sunflowers is to feel lifted by their cheer, calmed by their steady turning toward the light. Sunflowers remind us that peace can be radiant, and that following warmth is its own form of harmony. Earth also calms us with the steady rhythm of grazing animals on open pastures. Cows or horses spread across green fields, lowering heads, chewing slowly, tails swishing lazily. Bells may chime softly if worn, blending with bird calls and breezes. To watch them is to see contentment embodied, life moving without hurry, hunger met with patience. Pastures remind us that peace often lies in the ordinary cycles of nourishment and rest, repeated daily, endlessly. Another calming marvel lies in the glow of fireflies above summer meadows. As dusk falls, tiny lights flicker in rhythm, rising and falling among tall grasses. The air is warm, the sounds of crickets steady, the sight magical in its simplicity. To sit among fireflies is to feel part of a living constellation, the earthbound stars reminding us that wonder need not be distant. Fireflies remind us that peace is often found in the smallest, most fleeting lights. From glowing meadows, let us drift into the stillness of mountain monasteries carved into cliffs. High above valleys, these sanctuaries blend with the rock, their windows opening onto vast skies. Bells toll softly, chants drift faintly, but otherwise the silence is immense. To stand here is to feel balance between earth and sky, body and spirit. Cliff monasteries remind us that calm can be both built and found, shaped by human hands in alignment with the planet's quiet. Consider too the serenity of reed-filled lakes where swans glide. Their white forms move without urgency, leaving ripples that spread in perfect circles. The reeds rustle faintly, fish stir below, and the sky reflects across the water. To watch swans is to see grace embodied, motion without haste, beauty without demand. Swans remind us that peace can be visible in movement itself, in actions so fluid they seem like rest. Another soothing wonder lies in the hush of winter orchards under snow. Trees stand bare, their branches outlined in frost, their forms stark yet elegant against the sky. The ground is quiet, softened by white, and the air carries no sound but the faint crunch of steps. To walk here is to feel both solitude and companionship, as though the trees themselves stand with you in stillness. Snowy orchards remind us that rest is part of every cycle, and that quiet seasons are essential. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the calm of coastal cliffs where seabirds nest. Thousands of birds wheel and call, yet their cries blend into a rhythm that becomes soothing rather than overwhelming. Waves crash below, but from high above the sound is steady, softened by distance. To sit on such cliffs is to feel part of a vast, living system, active yet balanced. Bird cliffs remind us that peace is not always silence. It can also be harmony among countless voices. As this part closes, we have walked bamboo groves, foggy fields, hidden coves, sunflower seas, grazing pastures, firefly meadows, cliff monasteries, reed lakes, snowy orchards, and bird cliffs. Each scene shows calm in its own form, yet all remind us that Earth's peace is inexhaustible, an endless source of quiet strength. The planet's language of calm continues, never repeating, always fresh, each scene carrying a new shade of serenity. From the heights of mountains to the depths of oceans, from forests to deserts, Earth surrounds us with quiet lessons of balance, patience, and renewal. Every pause, every detail, every slow rhythm is an invitation to breathe deeper and feel lighter. Let us keep walking this path of gentle discovery. Let us begin with the stillness of alpine meadows beneath a summer sky. High above the forests, these meadows spread like soft carpets of wildflowers and grasses, dotted with grazing animals. The air is thin but clean, carrying the sound of bees and distant bird calls. The horizon stretches wide, mountains rising like guardians, yet the space between them feels tender. To rest here is to feel both lifted and grounded, embraced by beauty that asks for nothing. Alpine meadows remind us that peace can be simple and complete, found in open spaces touched by sky. From high meadows, let us descend to the peace of mangrove forests along tropical coasts. Roots rise like sculptures from the water, creating sheltered nurseries for fish and birds. The air is warm, the tide moves gently, and the forest hums with life, yet in perfect order. To drift in a boat through mangroves is to feel suspended between land and sea, shadow and light, silence and sound. Mangroves remind us that peace thrives where worlds meet, where boundaries dissolve into balance. Another soothing marvel lies in the quiet shimmer of dew on morning grass. Each drop catches sunlight, glowing like a jewel, fragile yet perfect. The air is cool, birds stir awake, and the land feels refreshed as though the world itself has been washed clean overnight. To walk barefoot through such grass is to feel the coolness of earth directly, a reminder of connection both grounding and uplifting. Morning dew reminds us that calm is often found in the smallest, most fleeting details. Now let us wander into the hush of sandstone arches and desert lands. These natural bridges, carved over millennia by wind and water, frame the sky with elegance. Light pours through their openings, shifting with the sun, painting the stone in shades of orange and red. To stand beneath them is to feel time stretched beyond measure, a calm born not from stillness alone but from endurance. Arches remind us that peace can come from knowing that the earth's slow patience shapes even the harshest landscapes into grace. Earth also offers calm in the soft glow of lantern festivals on water. Across lakes and rivers, people release small lights that float gently, reflections multiplying their glow. The night air is filled with hushed voices, the water carries the lanterns steadily, and the sight is one of quiet unity. To watch them drift is to feel part of a shared peace, each light a wish, each reflection a reminder of connection. Lantern festivals remind us that human traditions, too, can join with Earth's calm when practiced with gentleness. Another soothing wonder lies in the drift of autumn leaves on rivers. Bright red and yellow leaves spin slowly across currents, gathering in quiet eddies or floating until they vanish from sight. The sound of water blends with the rustle of branches, and the sight is both lively and restful. To sit by such a river is to see movement softened into art, change expressed as beauty. Autumn rivers remind us that letting go can be peaceful, and that release is often part of harmony. From rivers, let us return to the highlands, where sheep graze among heather-covered slopes. The purple blooms stretch in waves, buzzing with bees, while flocks move slowly across the land. Bells may ring faintly, the air carries the fragrance of flowers and soil, and the hills seem endless. To wander here is to feel both solitude and companionship, the land alive yet calm. Heather slopes remind us that peace can be colorful, fragrant, and filled with quiet life. Consider too the serenity of icy fjords under summer sun. Snow still clings to peaks, yet the water glows turquoise and green meadows appear along the edges. Boats glide silently, whales surface occasionally, and waterfalls plunge in silver threads from cliffs. The air is crisp but soft, carrying both warmth and coolness at once. To stand on such a shore is to feel Earth's contrasts united in calm. Fjords in summer remind us that peace often comes from balance: cold and warmth, stone and water, silence and sound. Another calming marvel appears in grassy valleys filled with the sound of cowbells. Villages sit quietly at the edges, smoke rising from chimneys, while herds move across the meadows. The sound of bells echoes softly, rhythmic and unhurried, blending with birdsong and breeze. To walk through such a valley is to feel held by time itself, traditions carried forward without haste. Cowbell valleys remind us that peace often resides in continuity, in rhythms repeated generation after generation. And finally, for this part, let us pause with the hush of desert plateaus at twilight. The land glows in fading red, the air cools quickly, and stars appear sharp against the vast sky. The silence is deep, broken only by the faintest wind or distant call. To stand here is to feel the planet's immensity, yet also its gentleness, the horizon unbroken, the world simple and grand at once. Desert twilights remind us that calm can be found in emptiness, in spaces where the sky itself becomes the companion. As this part closes, we have walked meadows, drifted mangroves, touched dew, stood beneath arches, watched lanterns, followed rivers, wandered heather hills, stood by fjords, heard cowbells, and watched desert skies. Each one adds a new thread to Earth's vast tapestry of peace, proving once more that calm is not the exception, it is the essence of our home. We have wandered across mountains and seas, forests and deserts, meadows and valleys, each part revealing new ways in which the earth cradles us in calm. Now, as this journey reaches its final stretch, let us linger with a few more scenes, carrying with us the reminder that peace is everywhere, waiting, infinite. Let us begin with the stillness of rice paddies at dusk. The fields, flooded with water, reflect the fading sky, turning shades of lavender and gold. Frogs begin their chorus, fireflies rise, and farmers return slowly from their day's work. The paddies shimmer like mirrors, each one a fragment of the sky, and the air is filled with both sound and stillness. To stand here is to feel the balance of labor and rest, the earth and people working in harmony. Rice paddies at dusk remind us that peace can be cultivated, that care and patience create calm landscapes as surely as natural forces. From paddies, let us wander into the hush of alpine ridges beneath the stars. The world below is silent, distant lights twinkling faintly, while the peaks rise sharp against the night. The Milky Way arcs overhead, clear and radiant in the thin air. To lie here is to feel small yet limitless, the silence immense, the stars endless. Mountain ridges remind us that peace can come from perspective, from seeing our place as part of something vast and eternal. Another soothing marvel lies in the drift of clouds over grasslands. Wide horizons stretch in every direction, and shadows glide slowly across the land as the sky reshapes itself. The air is warm, the breeze steady, and the scene changes with patience. To sit in such a place is to witness movement slowed, time stretched across the sky. Clouds over grasslands remind us that peace is not the absence of change but the gentleness of its pace. Now let us pause with the calm of hidden waterfalls and forests. Smaller than roaring falls, these streams tumble quietly over mossy rocks, their spray soft, their sound a steady murmur. Ferns grow thickly nearby, birds flit through branches, and the air feels cool and alive. To sit here is to feel embraced by the forest's heart, nourished by water and shade. Hidden waterfalls remind us that peace often lives in smaller wonders, overlooked yet profound. Earth also soothes us with the rhythm of oars dipping into lakes. Canoes or small boats glide across still waters, each stroke rippling the surface in gentle arcs. The air is filled with nothing but the sound of water parting and the quiet presence of nature. To drift like this is to feel carried, effort blending into rest. Oars on lakes remind us that peace can be both active and gentle, found in movements that align with nature's rhythm. Another calming wonder lies in orchards blooming with orange blossoms. The air grows heavy with fragrance, sweet and rich, while bees hum busily among the white flowers. The ground is warm, the branches laden, the sky bright. To walk through such an orchard is to feel lifted by scent as much as sight, the world softened into sweetness. Blossoming orchards remind us that peace can be inhaled, filling us with quiet joy through every breath. From fragrant groves, let us return to the edges of the sea, where tide pools glimmer in the sunlight. Small creatures move within, crabs, starfish, tiny fish, each pool its own world, alive yet still. The waves crash nearby, but here within stone walls, the water is calm, clear, reflective. To kneel and watch is to see life slowed, the ocean contained in miniature. Tide pools remind us that peace can exist even beside turbulence, enclosed within small sanctuaries. Consider too the serenity of winter villages after snowfall. Roofs glisten white, smoke curls slowly from chimneys, and lanterns glow softly in windows. The streets are quiet, footsteps muffled, and the air is sharp and clean. To walk here is to feel the warmth of stillness, the comfort of rest, the closeness of community wrapped in snow. Villages in winter remind us that peace is not only in solitude but also in shared stillness, where people pause together. Another soothing marvel lies in the golden light of wheat fields swaying in late summer winds. Stalks bend together, rippling like water, glowing beneath the sky. The hum of insects drifts, the land radiates fulfillment, and the air carries a sense of abundance. To stand here is to feel surrounded by nourishment, life ready to be shared. Wheat fields remind us that peace often comes from cycles completed, from the quiet satisfaction of harvest. And finally, let us close with the calm of ocean horizons. To stand at the shore watching waves meet sky, is to see infinity. The sea moves endlessly, never the same, yet always steady. Its sound is timeless, its presence vast. To look outward is to feel both grounded and released, the heart stilled by immensity. Ocean horizons remind us that peace is not a destination but an ever-present expanse, stretching as far as we allow ourselves to see. As this final part ends, we have walked rice paddies, mountain ridges, grasslands, forest falls, still lakes, orange orchards, tide pools, snowy villages, golden fields, and ocean horizons. Together with the countless wonders before them, they weave a tapestry of calm so complete that no corner of the earth feels without peace. The earth is not only our home but our teacher, its quiet places guiding us to slow down, to breathe, to rest, to live gently. Its calm is endless, its beauty inexhaustible, its peace constant. And so, though this journey has reached its final words, the invitation remains forever open. Step outside, notice and listen. The world is already singing its song of peace.